Hello, hello. Welcome everybody back into Crypto's News. I am here live with Griff Green. Hopefully everything sounds good. If you guys in the chat can let me know if anything's
Yeah.
doubling. Yeah, let us
Testing,
know.
testing.
Testing. Cool. Yeah. Assuming everything is good, I'm just gonna wait for that first message that everything is fine. We have El Marie here in the chat moderating. Maybe she can let me know if anything is doubling up. Error occurred, she wrote. What kind of error?
Oh no,
That doesn't sound good. What kind of
man,
error?
man, I got rugged 3 times doing a Twitter space today. Three
Rugged.
times.
Dang,
They
that's
shut
gotta.
down the. Yeah.
Oh man, that's gotta be some sort of record. Let me see. They're saying they're hearing a big echo. Let me see if I can
Mm.
do something here. Why would
Is it
we?
me? Maybe I mute.
Um, let me see something. Maybe I'm just doubling up how I'm capturing it. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We kind of had to do it live because I don't really have a way of testing it. Let me see. I don't want to get rid of Zoom. Maybe if I get rid of video capture device, maybe this one. Okay. Maybe that helps. Let me know, guys. Still echo. I just tried something right now. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. We are going to get into it in just a little bit. If not, let me see. Are you guys hearing both of us twice? Are you hearing Griff twice? Are you hearing me twice? Is it just an echo?
Twice, 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 twice. Okay, that
Griff,
was thrice at
no
least.
echo, only me. So,
Oh no.
yeah, let me see. Maybe I mute this one. Okay, let's try that. That should. Can you say something, Griff?
Something Griff.
Yeah, that should fix it. This should be good now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's wait for the next message.
I know, right? Well, it's great that we can work as a team here. It's always fun to do the community teamwork thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're definitely a big part of like the show. Good, we're good to
Well,
go. Bill says good. Bill says good. We
oh,
got one
nice.
good. Better says Mark. Sounds good. You sound like you're the voice of God coming through the clouds. Sounds good now. Okay, great.
Well, that's
It's
normal. That's normal then.
yeah. All right.
Everything's
The
normal.
voice of God. Yeah, right. That's all you, man. So, yeah. And if you don't know Griff, guys, welcome to the show. First of all, we're officially going to start here. Griff has been in the space since 2015, hardcore in Ethereum. He's taught me so much. I count him as somebody that I trust, someone that I super respect in this space, and as a friend, as a good friend, and the first guest. I'm super honored to have back on the show, and yeah, the first one for the new show. Also got a master's, I believe, in digital currency, which is amazing. You studied chemical engineering previously, and you've
Yep.
done all sorts of work with white hat stuff to get back funds. You were associated with a DAO where you were a community manager. That's where I first heard about you and was covering stuff that you were doing related to it, thinking about how difficult your job must be. And yeah, and then recently, really continuing the mission, as far as I know, with Giveth and helping with decentralizing charitable investments and public goods, creating all sorts of new technology to enable this to happen with. I remember like these mini me tokens that you were talking about, and quadratic. Still don't understand it. It's been a
Yeah.
minute. Yeah, so welcome to the show, Griff. How are you?
Thanks, man. Yeah, you're throwing back all the goodies from back in 2016, 2017, 2018,
Yeah,
which I mean, I'd be better if I was sitting next to you like we have done most of these podcasts,
yeah,
it seems.
yeah,
Most
that's
of these
true.
things we're usually together. I'll be like, you know, going from a conference or something and just swing down to wherever you are for a layover,
Yeah, I
hit
haven't.
the airport, head to your
Yeah,
house.
that's so cool. You just used to hit me up in LA all the time. I don't know if you came to Vegas too, but you might have.
No, I never
Not
made it to
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah, now I'm in Texas out here. Where are you at right now?
I'm in Toronto and
Toronto.
it's cold. It is
I
cold.
bet,
Yeah.
man. It's getting cold here, so I can only imagine. Is that where Giveth is based?
No, no. Giveth has this house in Barcelona where a lot of people hang out. It's kind of like a open community hacker house. But so I would say Giveth is based in Barcelona, but I've been nomadic since 2011.
Yeah.
So which basically means I live with my mom, you know.
Yeah, right. How
uh,
come I haven't
no,
met her yet? She's
yeah,
probably great.
yeah. She came with me at Burning Man the year after you came,
Oh,
actually.
really?
She is
Yeah.
great, but
Have you
no,
been going
I
every
say
year?
that, but she only came 1 year. I got her. We had a year of the moms just so I could get her to come
Yeah.
to the burn. But
Yeah. That was super
actually,
cool. Like
I'm with
hanging
my
out with
partner's
crypto
mom.
folks. You're with your partner's mom. Aw, she's
Yeah.
probably a sweetheart too. Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah. Oh,
Burning
she's
Man was
hooking
so
us up.
cool. Like all these crypto people in tents having talks, getting to just kind of step outside of just like I'm doing interviews and people are just want to be shilled on the show was refreshing.
Yeah,
Have you gone every
totally.
year? Is it still the same?
I had to skip last year, and actually this year I'm gonna go again, and we're gonna run Decentral, but it's the last year for Decentral. It's the
Uh,
last year. I just can't. I have too many projects, man. I have
yeah,
too
yeah,
many
yeah.
projects
And that's a big one to
running.
manage.
Yeah, running a couple Burning Man camps every year. I would have to, I'd bring 100 nerds plus into the desert, and it's a survival thing.
Yeah.
I had to take like at least a month completely off, and then like half time before and after that to
Yeah.
make it happen. I just don't have the bandwidth anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't have the bandwidth then, but um, yeah, it's too
Yeah,
much.
now it's too much. Yeah, well, thanks for sparing the time again to be on here. And guys, you're welcome to drop any sort of comments you have or any questions here for Griff, and I'll try to field any of those as we go along here. But yeah, let's start off by talking about this Ethereum Foundation drama that's been making the webs recently. It really kind of started for me when I saw Evan Van Ness. He had a very popular newsletter. It was the Week in Ethereum newsletter, and he announced that he was shutting it down. And then he kind of spoke into some of the background about how he got involved into it in his blog post, and then speaking about how he didn't want any money for it originally, but in order to get insurance, what he needed, he did have to get some sort of paycheck. So he agreed to get something, and eventually he realized his health funding was getting cut. He looked like he was losing funding from the Ethereum Foundation, which was probably a cool way for him to produce that and for other folks to also get some sort of funding. But yeah, there's been a lot of controversy around them and what they've been doing in the space as far as social media engagement, as far as managing funds and kind of I guess making the Ethereum ecosystem stand up to the likes of the big boys these days, like Solana, and perhaps like XRP or some other chain. So yeah, tell me a little bit about what you know about that, and do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing where we're headed? Hear about Danny Ryan maybe leading it, someone you might know. Yeah, I would love to know your side
I
of it.
know. I know nothing about the inside circles here. That let me start by saying that. But I will say, the Ethereum Foundation has an impossible task. Ethereum is a huge ecosystem. I mean, just imagine that Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, and all the other rollups, they all are considered part of the Ethereum ecosystem. And just think how big each of those ecosystems are and how many like how many directions the EF gets pulled. They just can't really do it all. And in some ways, I really love how there's like other people being like, "Fuck it, I'm going to start a foundation," you
Yeah,
know? And now
yeah,
there's like three foundations or two more foundations already being put together uh, to probably specialize a little bit. And I think that's really in the spirit of what we're doing.
yeah.
It's supposed to be decentralized. As far as like I heard about it the same way you did, Evan. Evan's a friend of mine. He worked for the EF for a long time, doing lots of stuff. So, I don't know. I love Evan. I assume that there was probably a better back channel way to handle it. But I don't I actually think it might have been better. I'm happy that he went this way because even though it's a lot of drama and it's annoying. It's an annoying thread on Twitter that I usually just scroll past at this point. But but at the same time, hey, these challenges always make us more robust, right?
Yeah,
And I think it's great if people want to start other Ethereum foundations to get other goals done.
yeah,
That's awesome. It always seems like it's on, this is like a tragedy of the commons kind of thing, you know? And if people want something for Ethereum, it's really easy to be like, oh, the foundation should do this, the government should do that, the da da da. And okay, maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. But if someone says they grab their pick and shovel and they're like, you know what? I'm going to fix the road. I'm going to solve this problem for Ethereum. Now that's epic, you
Yeah,
know?
it makes me think about like you have to have almost I was just like having a shower thought literally in the shower the other day about how you have to have kind of martyrs for different projects and different things. People who are willing to be brave and pioneer ideas, hopefully for the good of all. But I mean, we have had folks like Ross Ulbricht, obviously, he kind of pioneered use cases, you could say, for Bitcoin. You have Alexei Pertier going down for what went on with Tornado Cash. Although it looks like they had a big win recently in Texas. Hopefully that spreads elsewhere. And also with this
Yeah.
executive order by Trump, basically protecting, it seems like some of the language was around protecting the code and being able to put code freely up for folks. So unfortunately, we've had these martyrs and folks who do that. But I think it's like people are scared, is my thought, right? They're scared of the
Yeah.
regulatory bodies. They've seen these different agencies come after folks, especially in the more recent years. Like I know when I started off in Ethereum, it wasn't a thing. People really getting attacked. So it felt like it was easier to be brave and try things out, like the DAO or
Totally.
Slock.it, which you were a part of as well. So yeah, I wonder what the martyrs will be. I guess people who make the meme tokens these days are the martyrs. Like,
The president of the United States is the newest martyr, man.
yeah, yeah, in kind of ways, I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it is sad that there has been this need for martyrs, but man, I am optimistic. I really think that the tide is turning right now.
yeah,
I mean, Bitcoin's legal tender in El Salvador. We have all sorts of stuff happening in the States. Like, I mean, the president he's doing incredible things, honestly. I'm so surprised
yeah,
at how
yeah,
well things are going over there. Uh, for crypto and honestly for lots of other things. So, but I feel like the tide is turning in general. People have, I mean, BlackRock is a huge holder of crypto at this
yeah.
point. Like it's not a fringe thing anymore. And so I don't think BlackRock's going to be considered a martyr. You know, I think we're past the martyr stage. Now, for
Yeah.
privacy tools and stuff like that, that's still, you're still sitting in the flying in the face of the deep state and a lot of the powers that be. So yeah, that there's probably still a lot of work that can be done there. But in general, I think it's a lot easier for the next 4 years at least to do crypto things.
Yeah, absolutely. Monero, like I remember hearing about how much it was going to do well, but like it's been super under attack on exchanges, very difficult to find. And then you have to go to some shadier exchanges because of this kind of situation. Is that still like one of your favorite privacy projects? What would you say are interesting projects out there right now related to privacy that you would find valuable for folks?
Yeah, I mean, I still have a Monero wallet, but it's a lot less useful because you don't have very many exchanges that you can use it on. I used to always use Monero to clean my wallets and things like that, for my own OPSEC, and yeah, and that became unusable. So then I used Tornado Cash. Then that became unusable. And so then I was using ZK Bob, which is
I don't know that
another
one.
tool. Yeah, ZK Bob actually was made by someone who used to work with Roman Storm back when he was working on XDAI and POA network,
Wow.
Igor. And so, but they're shutting down now. So, it's privacy is really hard. There's like Rhino.fi is also a pretty cool tool. At least it hides stuff on chain and is non-custodial. But I think behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure they still have, which I think is fine. But I'm pretty sure that if, for instance, you were North Korea, you probably wouldn't be able to use Rhino.fi, or at least they would trace the funds somehow. Um, and I think that's okay in many ways. There's got to be some kind of balance
Yeah.
where, I mean, the biggest issues, if we 80/20 it, the biggest issue is you shouldn't be able to just track something on chain and see, oh yeah, this is Griff's wallet, you know?
Yeah.
So, you should be able to have some financial privacy.
Yeah, I think we
But
expect that with like banks, right? Like you're not gonna like pay at Burger King and then get a ledger copy on your receipt of everybody who bought stuff before you at Burger King.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
unusual. People come to
Yeah,
expect that.
and right now the best way to do that is just move it through an exchange, right? Exchanges are the default on-chain mixer. You send it into Binance or Coinbase or whatever, and then you send it out. But then you have to worry about all the tax implications or whatever, and you have to worry about like, is the exchange going to go down on you? It's not as big of an issue these days, thank God.
Yeah.
Although FTX, rest
Yeah,
in
I
peace.
wanted to actually talk about that one actually, since you
Yeah.
brought it up. I mean, yeah, I haven't chatted with you since probably like 2021 on the show anyway. So that kind of happened afterwards. 2022 was the big FTX year. So yeah, I mean, we had that. We also had the other project
Luna.
Luna as well come down. What was that situation like for you while you were in crypto? How were you feeling watching all this happen? Did it feel like crypto was gonna die or get overly regulated? How did you feel about seeing figures like Sam Bankman-Fried or Alex Mashinsky kind of being the superstar and them going down? Do you think that they were maybe a net good for this space because so many people learned a lesson, or do you think and maybe better regulations are created, or do you think that it was a net bad? And
Net
what?
bad.
Yeah, yeah,
For sure. I
yeah,
mean, I wish I could say it was a net good. I mean, I think that there is some good that can come out of it, but in the end, billions of dollars were lost and scammed by him. So like, it's that's never good. Lots of people were turned off from this ecosystem, and it's hard as a normal person when you're interfacing with these things to not just throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like, oh, crypto is bad. I lost a bunch of money in FTX. Crypto is bad. I bought a scam NFT. Like it it's just like, hey, I interfaced with crypto in some way. It hurt me. And unfortunately, that is this that is the situation for most people when they come into crypto. Like if you just count up all the people who interface with crypto in some way and you do like one person, one vote, by far most people either get scammed by it somehow, they lose money in exchanges, they lose money in some kind of
hmm
project that was bad in the first place. That was never intended to be a real project that would make people lots of money. It was intended to take their money. There's like the ransomware things. I need Bitcoin to unlock my computer.
yeah.
You know,
Like the ledger thing that I was reading about yesterday. I don't know if you heard
yeah,
about that crazy story. So scary.
yeah, yeah. There's a what's his name? James something who has like a list of people who've been physically attacked for their
Yeah,
crypto,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is another thing. I mean, I have a sweet spot in my heart for this little town in Ecuador called Vilcabamba, but Ecuador is not safe these days, and I'm a public crypto figure, so I don't even want to go there.
yeah,
It's,
yeah,
that's the sad state
yeah.
of the
I
space.
think Jameson Lopp today had tweeted out something like if you
That's
have
who it is.
more than 10,000 followers on social media and you're in crypto, you're substantially more likely to get a $5 wrench attack. So,
Yeah,
yeah, and we see that more. So it's super risky just doing these kinds of streams as well for the public.
yeah,
So thank you for being
yeah. It's really
brave today, Griff.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Stay away
I
from
mean,
Ecuador.
I think it's the minority, but like unfortunately, like in a lot of places in South America, there are real kidnappings, and they're not. It's not on Jameson Loft's like list of physical attacks, but I know of people who have been attacked and ransomed for their crypto
Yeah.
in Ecuador. So
Oh,
I
really?
can't.
What was
Yeah.
that? What happened there?
Well, just like they just do a lot of home invasions, and there's the gang. Yeah, Ecuador's been overrun by gangs. At least this little town in Ecuador
Yeah.
that I live in. Most of my friends have left that
Yeah.
used to live there. It was a really cool expat town. It still is, and it'll come back. It also got bad in like 2015, 2016. So I discovered this town in 2011, and it was magical. It was great. It was safe. It was fun. Lots of hippies, lots of conspiracy theorists. Most people spoke English. There was like an incredible expat community. And I would just go there once in a while on my nomadic journeys. And in 2015, it was violent again. There was actually a lot of drug problems. That was the main thing.
Mm.
And just like the gangs were kind of over causing a lot of issues. But then the pendulum swung and, the cops started doing their job and not taking as many bribes. And, the community rallied together and it became peaceful again. And I spent actually a lot of COVID there. I spent like 6 months there in during COVID and loved it so much. I was like, I'm gonna buy property and I'm gonna, hang out in this town. And then, post-COVID, gangs took over again, and it's a lot of like really violent home invasions.
Oh shoot.
And
Yeah.
and you're not allowed to have guns in Ecuador, you know? You're not allowed to
So it's
even
easier to like break in someone's house knowing that they're probably not armed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And even if they are, if you attack the person and you shoot the person or something, you're very likely to go to jail. Because what? You have a gun? Oh, okay, you're already in trouble.
Yeah.
You're attacking this person violently. Like if you kill them, the law's not in your favor, actually. And especially if you're an expat versus a local. Uh, and so a lot of my friends have left and they've been they fear for their safety, and it's just sad. It's sad
Yeah.
how that is in
Yeah, it
in
comes
the
out of the need, I'm sure. Like, the economic
yeah.
need over there where people do just form getting gangs because it's definitely a
Oh,
tragic way to go about it.
yeah. I actually saw the president of El Salvador break this down pretty well. He was saying like, okay, we could. There was an argument made by his economic advisors to not crack down on crime so vehemently that it was actually like going to hurt the economy. And they were predicting, his own internal advisors were predicting that it would be a 10% hit on the economy because
Wow,
that's how
that's big.
rampant corruption is and the violence is. And so, but he did it anyway and uh, and because the incentives are what drive everything, right? So he has this great example of like you go out there and you want to sell tomatoes. So you spend all day, you sell tomatoes, they ripen, some of them have to get thrown away. By the end of the day, maybe you make $5. Then you bring your $5 home after a hard day's work, and a gang member says, "Hey, give me your $5," you know? And so then what's the point? Is the incentive to sell tomatoes? Or is the incentive to be a gang member who steals people's tomatoes? But
Yeah.
if you instead put these people in jail, and you make it and you go hard against them, and you make it really hard to be a gang member because you're likely to go to jail, that flips the incentives again.
Hmm.
And I'm not one for jail. Honestly, I feel like there's better solutions. I'm not like I don't really believe in imprisonment so much, but if things get to that point, you have to take desperate measures and do what you can. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it makes sense. And that's what, honestly, I think what Ecuador needs to do. They need to come in there hard and really crack down on these things that the cops are all bribed and yeah,
Dang. I
it's just
wonder
what
if
it is.
like Bitcoin being so popular now in El Salvador is lowering the crime rate. Maybe people are a little bit better off. Yeah, Max Kaiser was talking
No,
about
that,
putting
that,
out a node in every person's house in El Salvador with the president
nice.
recently.
No, I think the president did like an incredible job at making El Salvador safe. I mean, I haven't been there, but that's what it looks like on the Twitters.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't really
weird.
know.
So where have you been
I
that you personally feel like good, safe, and happy around? Maybe there's crypto communities out there. Anywhere in particular come to mind?
I mean, anywhere in the Western world. I love Barcelona. Barcelona's got really great
Yeah,
vibes around
yeah, I
crypto where
like
it's
that.
also not about just the money. I feel like, that's not my vibe here. I'm not in crypto because of speculation and we can, make a bunch of money. I mean, that's for sure not an aspect that I want to ignore. It's probably the like killer app of crypto being able to create your own economic systems and create your own currencies.
Hmm.
That's what makes crypto great, but that's not the purpose for me at least. And in Barcelona, because they voted for independence, the Catalunya, like
Yeah.
province or whatever, they actually voted for independence, and it was shot down by the state. And there's just all these like revolutionary minded people in Barcelona and the surrounding areas that
Pretty neat.
see crypto as as a tool for like eventually replacing the government there.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Wow.
that's my favorite community.
Yeah, that sounds super cool. They have a use case beyond just money, literally just communication tools and systems of economic transfer, I guess, to help fund what they need to further what they need to do out there. Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they actually had like, and they build all sorts of cool stuff, there's this voting app called Votoni that they use in a lot of their communities that really was an answer to their vote being totally like obliterated by violence from the Spanish government. So they made a tool that they could do proper census and use zero knowledge proofs to actually do real voting for at scale with good UX, and it
That's
built an
important.
awesome tool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And it,
glad you appreciate a good UX as much as me, by the way. I think
oh
it's
yeah.
important. I think that's probably some of the reasons some projects have done so well is literally UX, just like a nice logo,
Polymarket. Dude,
polymarket.
Polymarket is probably the most important project of
Wish I could
2024.
use it in the States.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Well,
Yeah.
get a VPN, man. What are you talking about?
No, I
Yeah.
know I could use it, but I shouldn't use it, I guess.
Well, yeah, of course, of course. Well, but the UX that account abstraction brings is just so great, because you go in there, you deposit money in a poly market, and then you're just clicking around. No MetaMask pop-ups, none of this crazy stuff that is like annoying. You wait or blah blah blah. What
Hmm.
is this address? What is going on? It's networks, all the confusion. They just make
Yeah.
it super
I
simple.
think
It's
that's
like deposit
exactly what we
money.
need. Like,
Yeah.
but so like layer two networks is a lot of I think the focus of like what value Ethereum is going to be creating next is really rolling out more of these things and getting people to use them. But like the friction of it is I think still such a huge barrier. Still paying that layer one fee in and out. Just having to drop down MetaMask and change which network you're on is kind of annoying. If you forget, you might make a mistake. Um, do you think that there's any positives in that direction that we're headed towards as far
Oh
as
yeah.
reducing friction for layer? What does that look like for layer two?
I mean, I think there's a few directions. Like there's Polygon with their ag layer, Optimism with their super chain. Like at least some of these L1, L2s are gonna have their own really interconnected networks. Arbitrum has orbit chains, and they'll all be able to speak with each other in very easy ways.
Hmm.
But I think the real solution is just a layer above that, and I'm actually building a product. And I doubt you know about this, but it's called unicorn.eth,
Yeah, I don't.
and
But I
where
like the
the
name
infra
though.
yeah, well, I'm an OG ENS guy, so I happen to have unicorn.eth.
Yeah,
Gotta
Kevin is always
put it
here
to
in my
work.
chat telling me I got to get my .eth from you. He's like, dude,
Yes,
yesterday, I'll tip you $500, man, if you just get your .eth from Griff.
I have it. I have it exactly. I need to send it to you. I
Yeah,
mean, we
but then
made
it
this
won't give me a
video on.
reason to find you. No, I do the video so that I can get the eth, but then I'm like, too tired afterwards and I don't get it, and so then I have to do another video to like beg you for. I don't know. I'm
It's
just
so
messing,
true.
but
No, it's so true. I gotta send that to you. You just gotta send me the address. So you DM me, and I'll do it all for you. You just
but
gotta send
won't
me
I
the.
have to pay then, like to for it to keep it updated? Yeah, I'll have to.
Yes, but I think I already paid for it for a few years for you, so you're good.
You've been
Yeah.
paying my rent, Griff.
Yeah,
Dang.
I'm paying your rent. I'm literally squatting on your name so I can give it to you.
What is
Um,
the price right now? What would it cost for like to have
you know
your
what?
own for folks out here who might want to have one a .eth?
If you are over six, I think it's 6 characters or more, then it's just $5 a year. The problem is that it's on mainnet right now. And so the gas fees are more than $5 a transaction most of the time.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of makes sense to just do like 5 years or something. And then when you pay $10 for the gas, at least you're reducing
Yeah.
the
That's
costs,
smart. Yeah, that's good advice.
that's why I'm squatting on your name for so many years.
I
But
see.
But
No,
also
well, I
there's like a,
appreciate it. I appreciate it. No, it is nice to know that it's been protected. I let one of my old ones expire actually, so that's why I'm like, you've been a better custodian than I am to myself. So thank you for that.
well, I'm a top delegate for ENS, and actually unicorn.eth got a grant from ENS to even start the whole project. And yeah, and so it's I should make an effort to shill. I don't always do a good job, but I got to
No, you
change
should.
that.
Please. What's this
Yeah, because
unicorn.eth
I'm
thing?
actually raising for it right now. We're just kicking off, but I don't know if you've ever been to ETH Denver. Did you ever make it out to ETH Denver?
I did not to that one,
No.
no.
So we built this infrastructure and I was designing it, and then I actually went to ETH Denver last year, right after getting the grant. And man, signing up for ETH Denver was such a pain. It was like you have to they have this really cool system. It's like you to become a member, to go to the conference for free, you have to become a member of their co-op. And to become a member of the co-op, because they're like a Web3 first kind of organization, the Colorado co-op, you have to stake their token. And if you stake one Spork DAO token, then you become a legal member of their co-op.
Hmm.
Problem is, like, the application of doing it, the tokens on Polygon, how do you get your gas money? Like you have to fill out all this information and then you have to get your Spork token. So how do they send you a Spork token? You kind of have to, it was a huge mess. And I actually was working with Endeavor kind of. I was like sending support requests, making GitHub issues, being like, hey, maybe you got to fix this. There's this bug. I can't get past this part. So, yeah. And then I was just like, we should fix this for you guys. Like, I'm doing this unicorn.eth infrastructure, and really it's effectively membership infrastructure, which is perfect for ETH Denver. And the goal is to make Web3 simple and safe. So, there's a lot of projects out there that make it safe, or sorry, that make it secure, like MetaMask, every wallet, it's super secure, but it's not really safe. Like you can click a phishing link and have all your money taken.
Hmm.
And that's just not a feature people really want, I don't think.
No.
Sure, permissionless and blah blah blah. That's great at the infrastructure layer. But if I want to join Spork DAO, is it important that I can see a fake phishing link from a fake ETH Denver account, be able to click it and lose all the money I have in my wallet? No, Um, so we're taking the best tools from account abstraction. We're taking ENS. We're taking all the infrastructure that I love and combining it into a very simple user experience that kind of replaces Patreon for membership accounts. So like if you want to start a newsletter, or like if you want to, you could basically like I send you this ENS, right? I
Hmm.
can't even. I think I have cryptos news and I think I have Omar Bam, right?
Yeah.
So if you could actually start effectively your own wallet and your own membership service. You used to do Patreon. I
Hmm.
don't know if you still
No, I
do.
still do. I still do.
Yeah. And so this is like a Web3 version of Patreon where you can give people their own domain name. So I would sign up for cryptosnews.eth or cryptonews.com, and I would actually get griff.cryptonews.com,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like, because everyone at ETH Denver, when you go to ETH Denver and you try to apply, you're going to get your name or whatever your handle is, .ethdenver.com, and that becomes the URL for your membership portal. It's also your Ethereum address on every chain.
Yeah.
And
Super easy.
we,
Yeah. It sounds cool. Yeah. Like
yeah, and
streamlining it.
we hide all the chains. We hide 0x addresses. We actually limit the functionality a lot. It becomes kind of a walled garden. You
Yeah.
can't just send money to any random 0x address because I've seen so many people lose money that way.
That's
I've
cool.
been
So
onboarding.
it's like you would only be able to send to verified accounts, those that are like registered in the same way, really.
Yeah,
So
you
you
can
can't get
send
fished. Yeah.
you can send to your community, right? Everyone in ETH Denver can send to themselves because we know what tokens they can see, what chains they're using, and all of that, and we can know that if you send money to someone else using our same infrastructure, it's going to get there. You're not going to mess it up. But I've been onboarding
That's super nice.
nonprofit
Yeah.
to
Super
Ethereum
useful.
since
Yeah.
2016. I've seen every single way possible people can lose money in this space, like sending to the right address on the wrong chain, or sending USDT instead of USDC.
Or
You know, like
USDC on the wrong chain.
yeah, USDC on the wrong chain,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're just trying to send money to Coinbase, right? But they're like, ah, sorry, nonprofit, $3,000 out the window. Maybe one day we'll support USDT on Arbitrum, but we don't now. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh no, you know. So I want to fix that. I want to make it easy for nonprofits and everyone to use Web3. And one of the things that Unicorn also does is it's kind of like what I was talking about how Polymarket works, where you deposit money and then you just click things and there's no pop-ups anymore.
Hmm.
But we can do that for any application. So, like in crypto's news, you could pick what applications you want people to use. You pick what tokens you allow them to see. You
Mm.
choose what kind of Web3 experience they want
Super
your
cool.
users to have.
Yeah.
And then if they use one of those apps using their crypto's news wallet, they're automatically connected. They never have to connect. That's all done in the background for them. They don't have to see chains. We know what chain that application is being used on. So like it's just there. It's just working. They don't have to go to the drop down.
Well.
They don't see networks. They don't see 0x addresses. They don't have to ever do the connect thing. They don't have to sign transactions. Everything's just super simple.
Hmm.
And then you can, charge them membership fees. You can sell NFTs. You can recommend crypto coins, or and do whatever. If you launch your own token, people could just go there and they know they're getting the real token. I think it
Mm.
was like scammers right after Trump launched his
Yeah.
tokens.
Yeah.
Scammers,
Yeah.
they were making.
It was like
I think I heard this
3,000
on
a
your
day.
podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was over 3,000. It used to be like 1,200 Trump tokens created a day. Then it became after I
Yeah,
think a day of
yeah,
fake
and then
tokens.
and scammers were just making bank off of people, and if Trump instead would have had a unicorn.eth infrastructure for his thing, it'd be like, instead of here's the contract address, you're like, get your own Trump domain,
Yeah.
you know, and then become a member of my community and get your token here, hold your token here. Don't worry about 12 words on a phantom wallet. And then behind the scenes, we also will manage, the graduated security precautions. If someone has like 50K on their wallet, like they need two-factor authentication, they need a hardware wallet, they need all those things. If they have 20 bucks, log in with Google is fine, things like that.
Yeah.
And but to the original question, I think we're going to see a lot of tools, not just Unicorn, but other tools as well, that just do the chain abstraction for the user. And AI agents are
Yeah, I wanted to ask
insane.
you about that too. I mean, yesterday,
Yeah,
like ChatGPT launched Operator, their version of agents, and if you guys don't know what agents are, is basically just it's something that can do things and initiate things by itself. So you might give it an initial prompt, and with the original release of this one by ChatGPT, basically it'll click within the web browser. So it operates within a web browser. Anything that can be done in a web browser, it can do. So people can say, why would I need something to automate my concert reservations or something? Like, I'm not going to pay $200 a month for that. But for me, it was like, I want to take all my videos out of Odyssey where I have them backed up, and mad props to the library blockchain for doing that for me.
yeah,
Yeah, and I want to put them up on YouTube just in case that does go down or the front end goes down. It becomes more difficult for me to do that. Let me take advantage now and manually download each video. But for me to manually download each video is an insane task, because I have to download 3 to 5 videos I was doing in 2017 a day. So that
yeah.
plus getting the thumbnail right, all these things, I'm like, how cool would it be to just have an operator and tell it, hey, go to Odyssey. It asks you for login details when necessary, and then it just logs in, downloads everything, even creates new content, like a better description than I originally put in there, or something like that, and does it automatically. I'm like, that would be worth $200 a month for me. And you can easily think of a billion ideas, since the world economy pretty much functions online these days, that you can do. And
Yeah.
then integrating it into crypto, and with something like Unicorn, I can imagine it would make these agents even more useful and less room for them to make errors, because we know they're very prone to errors and hallucinations. Even like this original release of Operator, which I'm like trying to keep tabs on to see if it's going to be useful. And right now it's like probably not. Reading some posts, it actually hallucinates more than like GPT-3. It gets quite off the wall,
Yeah,
but they're only going to get better. So yeah, what do you
exactly.
imagine of these AI agents? And you can talk about crypto specifically, but almost like in a bigger level, how do you think that shifts society going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm generally a techno optimist, but I'm worried, I'm a little worried that things are going to move really fast with AI agents, and there's a lot of people, especially in my like circles that only work on the computer. They don't, anybody who's working on the computer needs to learn AI agents basically.
Yeah.
Because if you know how to use AI agents, you're going to be three, four times more productive as a
Hmm.
person.
Yeah.
You can know how to automate your tasks that you need to do. And if you don't, then you might be in trouble, you know? And actually, for the Giveth Galaxy, so I have like five, six different projects that all kind of, I have a team of around 55 people right now that are all working on these different projects. And I, I am making every single person, including myself, create an AI agent. So we have around 25 AI agents that we're building right now.
Wow.
Everyone's taking 20% of their bandwidth for the next 2 months. There's
Totally
different
worth it. Yeah.
deadlines. Not everyone can do it at the same time and stuff, but to build something that's useful for us. Whether
Mm,
you're an admin, an accountant, a developer, a designer, everyone has to do it. And so we
love
have
that.
like,
Yeah.
and of course, it's not just like, it's not really a hackathon because in last year I did two different AI hackathons for our teams. This is like just team building stuff and like continued learning and
Hmm.
that's that sort of thing.
Hmm.
And so, but they were just hackathons and you could do whatever you want. This one's more like you have to build something useful for the company and we're going to pay for your time. But you can kind of come up with it and then we'll like check it off and say it's good. So, yeah, and people are having a blast with it, right? Uh, we're we're mostly using Eliza OS.
Hmm.
That's the
I haven't
probably
tried
the
that.
best framework out there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tested that yet.
It's a really cool framework. This is the AI 16Z framework, right? Shah, and that whole crew. And the reality is it is basically the most trending repo on GitHub or the most like the most watched, the most starred repo on
Wow.
it's has the most development. Every chain is on there, and if you're building an agent that is wants to interface with crypto in any way, that's the framework. Everyone's there. We're gonna make a Giveth plugin for it. We're gonna use it for most of our agents. So yeah, I think as far as your original question, like I'm a little worried that if you don't get into AI agents and your work is digital in nature, then you're probably going to lose your job in a year or two. And if you do get into AI agents, then you'll probably be taking people's jobs in a year or two. And I think most of the time, most technology, it doesn't work like this. This is my prediction, and I it I like to consider AI and AI agents like an excavator, you know? Um, if you are an excavator is one of those big backhoe things that like digs, right? And
Yeah.
so if you're in construction, did you lose your job? Like maybe kind of, but not really, not so fast when excavators started coming out.
Yeah, it's
You
just
know,
a
I
tool
mean,
for you to do your job more efficiently. Yeah, I guess there would be less
yeah,
excavating, manual excavators out there.
yeah.
But yeah, they just use like prison labor for that anyway. So
Yeah,
for the
pretty
roads
much.
anyway.
Absolutely.
For the
Actually,
roads.
my dad is my stepdad technically is a prison guard. He's a correctional officer, and he
Oh,
takes
I
people
didn't know
out
that.
on the road. and
Oh,
actually
dang. So
has them
yeah.
do road work.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. There you
So
go.
there you go. I can vouch for that, and they get
Yeah.
paid pennies. And this is part of
Yeah.
the reason why I'm not really for prisons, because I've
Slavery,
seen it's not
legalized
really
slavery.
helping anybody
Yeah.
other than slave labor. But to the excavator analogy, AI does not do everything. It doesn't take away a human from doing even these AI agents. You still need someone to make the plan
Mm-hmm.
for the excavator to dig in the right spot. And then you also still need someone at the end to get the shovels out and do the fine tuning. Excavator is not going to make a perfect corner it's not going to do everything there. So, and AI is like that. AI does a great job at doing the middle work. The first 15% and the last 5, 7, 10%,
Mm-hmm.
really, we still need humans to do. And
100%. I've been doing it for my thumbnails. I mean, like, so I used to make my own thumbnails, and it took a lot of time. I remember that was like an allocation of like an hour, because I was kind of obsessive about it early on, and getting the thumbnail just right when I started the show. Then
Yeah.
I used to pay a fine fellow, maybe he's out there, $5 a video to do the thumbnail for me, and I still get hit up all the time, even now in this day of AI, with people offering, I'll do your first 5 thumbnails for free, and then it's $5 or whatever. And I've taken that, I've considered that really in the past a lot, when I just want to focus my bandwidth on
Got to get done.
the content. Yeah, it's still got to get done. A good thumbnail is eye catching and gets people interested. It
Yeah.
might attract new viewers. I know a lot of these people who show up every, well, really, it kind of does. And like now, I just literally open up OpenAI for free, right? Because I'm not even paying the $20 a month anymore. I really find value when I'm traveling. I find for that, mostly for myself. Like if I'm traveling and I'm trying to look and learn and I'm on the go, it's not as easy to search for
Yeah.
certain things. Yeah, or making plans for things. But normally in my day-to-day life, I don't need to use it as much. So except for thumbnails, and I get like 3 free a day, so I can do, like you said, 3
Nice.
revisions. Make sure it doesn't
Yeah.
write Bitcoin 500 times on the screen. It gets a little excited. I like to use the word minimalistic. I use
Yeah.
minimalistic, and then I define the aspect ratio like 16:9. And then from there, it's really cool because it reminds me of my early days when I was making those thumbnails. Really excited to do that, passionate about it,
Yeah.
because it's really about my creative imagination at that point, where like, what am I going to devise with my words and dream up really for this thumbnail, and then see what comes out. And then, yeah, I have to do, like you said, the final bit of legwork when it comes to adding words, because it's not that great at that, or adding my image. Yeah, so I have to do that. I have to upload it to YouTube. So it's not automated by like completely. It might be using agents, but still, I feel like it won't be, because there's going to be something lacking probably there that
I
will
mean, in
need
the
that.
end, it's too hard. It takes too much time to give an agent or an AI the context
Yeah, yeah,
that it needs.
yeah,
Like it's just a straight like human to human digital communication barrier.
yeah,
Whether it's human to human, sometimes you just gotta do the final touches yourself. You
yeah,
know, I mean, that's just how it is. And but the thing is, what I worry about right now is AI agents and the development. It's happening so fast. Whereas like excavators, it takes a long time to manufacture, thousands, hundreds of thousands of excavators to put everyone with shovels out of work. People slowly will get like displaced as excavators enter the scene, as new technology comes in. But I think that if you're a startup right now and you can stick with a team of 3 to 7, uh, and you can build a huge thing, and that's just using AI agents, you're going to. And, if you're a large company and you can cut down on costs by using AI agents, you're going to. And I worry that there's going to be a mass influx of that over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, that economic system won't have time to
yeah.
handle it. And I think this is a relatively common thought in the AI space too, that it's just, whether or not we use UPI or we do something, we'll have to do
Hey, this is the
something.
most pessimistic thing I've ever heard out of here from you, Griff.
I know,
I'm messing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to tease, but no, I've
it's
read like
true.
Super Intelligence by Nick Bostrom. I've read Ray Kurzweil's latest book, The Singularity is Near.
Oh, you know,
Just in,
sometimes your sound's cutting out.
oh, it is. Oh, dang. I don't know why that might be. Maybe it's because of X or OBS like pulling the sound. Is it like every other word or something like that? I'll
No, no,
have to.
no. It's like just like sometimes there's like a gap in your words for 10 seconds. But yeah,
Oh,
then it's fine for a while.
yeah. Are you guys
Almost
seeing
thought
that? I'm
mid-chord or
curious.
something.
Yeah, I'll check this out afterwards. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's a good thing you're doing most of the talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
So
so Ray Kurzweil was the last thing I heard you say.
yeah, Ray Kurzweil's book, definitely like he's more optimistic about it all, but I read. I mean, that's one of the most fascinating things to me. Read is also like the doomerism because it's not even. It's like realistic. It's realistic. So much of it that even as an optimist, I'm super worried and like. How I don't know how would an economic system adjust to something like this? What would that even possibly look like? Like we can't
I
even
think it
imagine.
will. I really think it will adjust. And I mean, I see like on the 10 to 100-year scale, it's more like, it's definitely more like Star Trek, where there's no money and there's just abundance and things are handled. It's this transition period for the next 5 years that I just don't know that the current system can be changed fast enough to allow for this kind of issue. Now, but hopefully I'm completely wrong. And, innovative people in a dream world, that the Giveth is successful at building economies around causes. People can invest in solutions that will provide public goods to society. And a lot of those solutions might be AI agents that are just, taking care of people who are out of work and don't have a good replacement, helping them get educated on things that they can do and finding ways to drop value to people who need it in ways that I just don't think the current system can do.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see, but and it's probably fair to trust in humanity's ability to do it, but yeah, we gotta. There's definitely a non-zero. There's definitely a decent chance that we won't be able to get it done in time because the way things are moving with AI agents, the stuff that they can do, and the way the AI space just has been exploding lately. There is not a good reason to hire teams of thousands of people when you can really do a team of 100 or less and have the same output
Yeah.
with efficiency with agents.
Yeah, it definitely seems like something will centralize, I guess, power and people who are better able to manage large groups of AI agents and get a lot of things done for a lot of people. And yeah, that's not giving jobs to other people; it's giving jobs to AI, which is kind of strange. I wonder how that would like. Do you see a way that crypto specifically might be able to benefit economies at scale? Do you think that there could be some sort of UBI even involving crypto that could be possible that could help folks to maybe put themselves on the playing field of these new startups who are maybe having Bitcoin native reserves to start up?
I mean, I love the idea of UBI, but I don't really trust it to solve problems, unfortunately. I mean,
That's what
it
like
would be,
everybody hopes, I think,
yeah.
succeeds to
I
help
don't,
folks.
I don't think it would, but maybe, and if in the right culture, it definitely can. And there are some great UBI projects. I love circles. brightID was really built for UBI, and I'm very close to the founders there too. And I love these projects, but like they have to be supported by a government, and then the government basically, in my opinion, would need to stop giving money to banks to inflate and instead allow people to receive that inflation. And the likelihood that that's going to happen, listen, you
Yeah.
can, I, I really like what Trump has done in the last 4 or 5 days. He's done a lot of great things. I don't trust him worth a shit. I don't trust any president or any government system. They're all corrupt at some level, including Trump, obviously. So like he's doing great things. He's really like releasing cool stuff with like the trying to push for transparency around JFK assassination and RFK
Oh, I
and
didn't know that one.
Martin Luther King. Like that's crazy, you
Yeah.
know? That's awesome. And all the crypto stuff, of course, that he's
Yeah.
doing.
What did you think
Really,
about that? What did you think about the policies in the executive order? Do you think that it covered all the bases? Do you think it's kind of structured how we should hope, right?
I mean, I didn't read it in detail at all, so I have
Yeah.
no idea. My understanding from just scrolling through Twitter like everyone else, I didn't even talk to our friends Claude or ChatGPT about it, but like or Grok. So, uh, but it seems like it's just an executive order saying, "Hey guys, let's like crypto." I did like
Yeah.
that he put in there something about no CDBC, no
No
central bank.
CBDCs. Yeah.
Yeah, no CBDCs. That's pretty nice because that gets into some scary stuff. I
Yeah.
really don't want the government controlling every like move that you make with your currency. Like that's a little sketch.
Scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I just because I don't trust governments,
Yeah, maybe that was
Yeah,
their plan for UBI here. It was through a CBDC for folks and automatically adjusting your balances based on inflation or something like that. And they might have been really preparing to offer that as a solution and yeah, feeding like telling people what they want to hear under the sphere of AI. But now they have at least 4 years before they can pump this out. I didn't see that they couldn't develop it. I was trying to look super closely at the wording of what was in there, and it
yeah.
basically said that it can't go live. But it
Mhm.
didn't say anything about like continuing development. They must immediately halt development. I was looking for that. And fortunately, I didn't see that.
I mean, I just assumed that eventually it just makes sense for governments to have a central bank digital currency because then they could automate taxes, they could automate a lot of these things that processes that honestly take a lot of people's time and it's very inefficient. And yeah, so it kind of makes sense in some ways if you had a trustworthy government that you would do something like that, but we don't. So I hope that it doesn't happen.
Scary, scary. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's scary.
and you touched on it briefly, but like UBI, so you don't think it would solve our problems. Can you tell us why you kind of have that framework that you're leaning
I
that
mean,
way?
I love WorldCoin. I love UBI projects. I really want them to work. I don't think the incentives are quite aligned. It's like if you collect unemployment, they're paying you not to work, you know? And there's like something not quite
Balancing.
it's charity doesn't really work either. I run a donation platform. I don't really believe in the incentive alignment around donations. I I think that there needs to be instead more of the solution that I've been trying to build with Giveth and everything is can we actually appreciate the value of public goods? Can if the value of the roads, the value of, taking care of those who are less fortunate in
Yeah,
society,
you
the
guys
value
raised
of a river.
$1.5 million for folks in Palestine, right? Last year in 2024. Mad props to that.
Yeah.
$500,000 just for that one project, I believe, in ETH.
Yeah.
That's super
Yeah,
cool,
we
but it shows that there's value. People find value in helping others. It places the
just
heartstrings.
but I'll tell you what's really interesting is just a few days ago, Roman Storm's campaign, we actually mentioned Roman Storm earlier.
Mhm.
He's raising money on Giveth, and people who launched meme coins donated to his Solana address about $400,000 worth of meme coins to Roman Storm's defense,
So you
right?
can donate anything on the Giveth platform?
Yeah, you can donate anything. I mean, the way Giveth works is the project just puts up addresses and then people can donate to them. And we do the hard work of verifying that it's actually them
Yeah.
and that it's a legit person
I-
with reputation at
Is
stake.
that done manually? Like you have to manually
Yeah.
approve projects? Yeah.
That we have a decentralized solution too. That you can we have this thing called devouch where you can vouch if you have reputation, and right now it's kind of a select group. It's like Optimism delegates because they're the ones who funded it. Optimism actually funded the creation of this.
Cool.
So Optimism delegates and Giveth verifiers, get coin passport holders as well. So you can, if enough people vouch, right now it's just three. If three people vouch for a project, then we give it a level one verification. But, and eventually, if we get the decentralized verification system running, then that will hold everything. But we have this other level of verification as well, called which level two, which people who are level two verified, we have to just review the project, make
Yeah.
sure they're not a scam, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure also that they're a public good. So it's not just like, for instance, we were talking about adding the Free Ross campaign,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a public good. It's just like donate money to Ross because he's a
Yeah.
great guy,
Yeah.
and like he
Yeah.
went to jail for us for many years, but the money's just going to go into his pocket. It's not going to provide some kind of value to society.
Wasn't it
I mean,
Kraken or some exchange that gave him like $111,000? I read today. They just gifted him some
wow,
money, like startup money.
that's
Back
great.
on, start back on your feet money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so that project is going to get verified, level one verified, because it's a great project and we want to see people support Ross. But our mission is really around public goods. How do we fund public goods? And throwing money at Ross Ulbricht is just not a public good. Like it's cool. Throwing money at Roman Storm's political defense, like his defense, so that, people can develop open source code without a threat of arrest in the United States. That is a public good.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though it does individually help him, there is some kind of like greater aspect that we can say. And because this is very, it's there's some nuance here. So we have to do it centralized. And we just put in the time to do it right. And Ashley does such a good job at holding us to integrity. I got in a fight with her today about like, just let me verify this project. Come on. And she's like, no, Griff, I'm sorry. You can't.
Remember the mission, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And she holds that ground even against
Yeah,
the
that's good.
founder, and
Yeah.
you can't
You're gonna stick
she's
with the
been
mission
with us for
statement.
many years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
it's
Good on Ashley.
her integrity is like what keeps us honest. So I really appreciate that.
Props to
But
Ashley.
props to Ashley, wild wanderer out there. Mad props to you. And because literally like an hour before this call, we were just like getting into it on Discord.
Yeah.
Ah,
You're always doing something crazy. Like when I called you to set up this interview, by the way, I called him on Twitter. I didn't realize you could call folks on Twitter. So I just hit the button to test it and Griff actually answered. So that was
yeah.
nice. Yeah. But yeah, you were like helping somebody get money out of the DAO still to this very
Oh
day.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I can't believe it.
the DAO doesn't stop. But now when people ask me for help out to get money out of the DAO, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh,
You know?
dang. I
Because
just want
yeah,
one DAO token. That's all I want from the DAO. I just want one of those tokens. I think you had some
of course,
collectible
I'm
items.
hodling
Yeah.
numismatic value. But actually you can
Has it
buy a
gone
DAO
up?
token.
Has it gone up?
Surprisingly not.
Should we pump
Not yet.
DAO? Let's pump
There
DAO.
are times where it does, but
Yeah.
there's this really great, it's called the DAO Museum. If you want a DAO token, you can buy it. There are pools on Uniswap, but
Cool.
the thing is the DAO token is so old that it was before ERC20, you know? So
So it's
it
unusual and
doesn't
it might
use
not
that
work.
standard.
Yeah, it
It
might not.
only
Yeah.
it doesn't work very well. It's fine. You can use this app to do it, but then it doesn't show up in MetaMask correctly. It's like the infrastructure around Ethereum been built around ERC20 tokens, and because the DAO was before that, it's just it doesn't play well. It works on Uni v1, you know? When
Wow.
we're on Uni v4, okay?
Jeez.
Yeah.
So like you did the DAO, which was like one like pre ICO, basically the OG ICO, you could say of ICOs, where like anybody could raise money for pretty much anything and get funded by DAO token holders and so on. Um, but I think like that idea has kind of died away. You're doing it in a different way, of course, with Giveth, but like you said, specifically more for public goods, and it's somewhat centralized still because it kind of has to
Yeah.
be at this time. But is there something right now that you could imagine? Like there would be an appetite for some sort of DAO. Is there anything out there like that? And also Slock.it, like the idea of an Internet of Things. I still am hoping for something like that. Anything on those
Yeah.
fronts?
Yeah, I mean, just a couple pieces, man. You just sent me on like four different
I
threads I have in
know.
my mind.
I
It's so
know.
hard.
Go ahead.
Okay,
One finger to
okay.
each.
To finish the Give a thread, it's just that project owners just put their own addresses on and we verify it, right? And then people can donate any tokens to those addresses because they're just,
Yeah.
the address, the EOA, like externally owned accounts, like a MetaMask address or a phantom address for Solana, and they just have it there. So meme coins, all that stuff gets donated fine. And um, I think I'm not only did I start do the DAO back in the day and been part of many DAOs and DAO infrastructures over the years, I'm also a top delegate for ENS, Arbitrum, and Optimism. and hope to also support other big DAOs in like doing things right. I help a lot out in the Polygon space. I just try to make sure that things are going in a good direction safely in the DAO space because I really believe in decentralized governance. We have to get there. The problem is that the coordination, most of these DAOs end up as some weird sort of conflict of interest, just all over the place. Like optimism does a good job at preventing conflicts of interest, but it's still there. It's still hard, and then it becomes more like who you know and nepotism, backroom. There's still backroom deals. Same Arbitrum actually says like conflict of interests are okay. That's why you're here, right? They just kind of lean into it. I don't like that
Well, it's honest,
personally.
but yeah.
Yeah, they're honest. We've tried in Arbitrum. We've had different policies, tried to make policy conflict of interest policies, but like they never pass because in general the vibe is, yeah, guess what? We have our infrastructure here, and we're using Arbitrum to support ourselves. And so that's why we spend the time on the governance chats and stuff like that to make sure Arbitrum wins and we win.
Yeah.
And those incentives are valuable. I don't know. I tend to say you should have to abstain if you're voting for a grant for yourself, but like, more power to them. It is every DAO should have their own culture, but like I think that see I really like what EigenLayer is starting to do. They have a really interesting governance system. That's pretty cool. I'm sort of a governance nerd. I love what Trake is doing with the EigenLayer governance system. It's not fully fleshed out yet, but trying to keep decisions in like a small group. So maybe you have a group of like a council of like 5 people, and they're effectively elected by delegates.
Yeah.
So right now in most DAOs, you have this delegate system where if you get the airdrop or you get the tokens in some way, and you delegate your voting power to someone else, and then that person votes for you, and they kind of collectively take on everyone's tokens. I don't like this. I think it's a horrible system because I mean it's fine. It's a good
It was like the whole
solution, but
base
it
of
doesn't.
EOS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. It's just avoiding Dunbar number problems. It's like okay, let's let's just bring the power back to like best case 30 people, worst case five. And
Hmm.
let them make the decisions
Yeah.
because they can coordinate, they can talk to each other, and there can be a cohesive like a direction. But for me, what excites me is how do we get past the Dunbar number? How do we make DAOs around helping the homeless in San Francisco? I want to see that, and it shouldn't be like, for right now we already have city councils that are effectively delegates doing it, and it doesn't work. So can we get to a place where we can swarm it? And this is where I think AI agents are going to just take over DAOs. And I think there's two main directions. Number one is having your own personal AI agent. Maybe you put it on your Dapnode or like your personal server at home, and you can actually put your private chats in it because it's your own server. You control it. Maybe Dapnode starts selling people the NVIDIA boxes,
Yeah.
uh, and then which I'm telling them, come on, let's do it, guys, let's do it. I found it down, so it's I have some inside sway there, but
Cool.
but so you run your own node at home. It like suggests votes for you, and like it
You're still
has
running a Dapnode?
yeah, of course, I have
Cool,
two.
cool. Yeah, you
I
want
have
to talk
two.
about that a little bit for folks? Yeah, like what that is, what it does, I guess. I mean, you
Yeah,
briefly touched on that, but
yeah, Dapnode is basically a personal server you have at home, right? And it's really built to run Ethereum nodes and other Web3 nodes. You can run a Monero node, a Bitcoin Lightning node. You can run lots of different, Tornado Cash Relayer if you want. You can run whatever you want. It's your server at home. And what's really cool is when you connect to it, like not funny story, tragic story. Consensus owns MetaMask. Consensus is a US company. Consensus one day just randomly decided to block everyone in Iran from using their nodes. So one day, every single person in Iran woke up, they looked at their MetaMask, and their balance was zero, and they flipped the fuck out thinking they were hacked. And it was just like this whole thing. And then eventually, after a couple of days of chaos and stress, everyone figured out, oh, no, no, it's just MetaMask. The keys actually still have money. And because it's not your node. You don't actually, when you're running a node at home, you are directly connected to the peer-to-peer network. And this direct connection is what makes Ethereum and all these other systems so robust. Because if someone doesn't like you, if someone wants to censor you from accessing their nodes, their infrastructure, it's not that hard for you to run your own node at home. And Dapnode is open source software first and foremost. If you have an old computer, you can download the Dapnode. It's actually an operating system.
Oh, dope.
It's a Linux fork. And so you just install that into your own hardware, totally free, but we make it super easy to one-click install nodes, and the packages are managed in a decentralized way so that if a developer wants to update their packages, then there's a little bit of a approval process that was still slightly centralized to make sure that there's no scams or impersonations. And then whenever they make an update, you have to approve that update on your Dapnode, but you can, and it's super easy. It's just one click, and it just makes running all of that infrastructure. It takes it from a job that you need to have a DevOps career to really do
Yeah.
to just like a couple of clicks, and most of the time it works great.
Yeah, super useful. Has there been a lot of
Yeah.
demand for it? Have you been finding that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dapnode is
Awesome.
like the most profitable business I've ever funded.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
That's great.
It's
That's great. I'm
yeah,
happy to hear
it's
that.
me too. That's why I'm not really involved in Dapnode anymore, because like they have a couple years of runway. They don't need me. They're doing great. I'm,
Awesome.
I'm mostly around in the projects that don't work well,
Yeah.
like a free donation application with very little business model. That one's tough.
That's tough.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we keep it going. We keep it going,
Yeah.
and even
So,
like
but
Unicorn.
oh, and
You
like
know,
unicorn?
yeah. Well, Unicorn. It's
I
like
can
I have
see a
to do.
super demand for unicorn though. I can see that being used by any company anywhere, literally.
Yeah.
If, like you said, you just want to send to employees and make sure they receive a memo, you could probably do that some sort of way.
Absolutely. You can create your own, everyone has their own portal and their own system. But why am I building Unicorn? I need it to solve Giveth's problems. I need it so that nonprofit people can hold tokens, not get scammed, not make mistakes when they want to cash out, and build like a custom solution that just gives them super UX for like everything off the website that involves with crypto.
Yeah.
There's like, okay, there's our application, and that's great. We can make the UX as great as we can. But then if you're getting the crypto, you have to do other things with it. And how do we protect the user off of our website? The only way I can think of is you have to kind of own the whole vertical. And so our infrastructure makes that easy. But I have to run Unicorn like a business. I have to build it for ETH Denver. I have to build it for we have a couple other clients signed up, and we have to like make a business model and do all those things so it's sustainable. I have to go raise money from investors and things like that.
Yeah.
I just want it for Giveth,
Where
but
can
I
people
have
go to
make-
learn more about unicorn.eth or consider investing if they felt like it? How would that look like? Any plans around that? Do you have a website?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we are doing a small pre-seed round. You could just DM me on Telegram if you are interested. But if you want to try it out, I mean, it's super slick. Like if you go to app.ethddenver.com and just try to, go to ETH Denver, you will use our infrastructure and you'll see how slick it is. I'm hoping next week, it might be the week after, we'll bring in the ETH Denver staking DApp so you can see how slick it is to be like basically you come into your membership portal, and it's just like whatever ETH Denver wants to show you. And then the wallet is just like a small piece of it. But then we also have this apps page. And so if you go to the apps page and you click any of the apps that are there, you go to their website, but it's like their website with all the Web3 complexity removed, and you can just start clicking on Uniswap and there's no pop-ups, and it's still their
But
website.
I don't have to like have the pool, the liquidity pool that I'm like going to be swapping between approved by
No,
ETH Denver if I go through their portal page.
No, you do. That's the thing. So ETH Denver has to agree to add it to
Yeah,
the portal page. So,
gotcha.
but that's how we keep people safe.
Yeah,
Because if we don't create that walled garden, then and then you can just connect your app to a phishing website, or you can connect your app to an application that you don't really understand, and you can make mistakes. That's really bad for ETH Denver. That's bad for you. But what's cool is with our infrastructure, I mean, we don't have it up yet, but there's going to be another wallet another website that you can connect to that's more like a normal MetaMask wallet. And you have complete control. If you want to click on that phishing link and lose all your money, you can do it. Permissionless. It's great, you
oh
know?
man, yeah.
And
I almost got fished last week. I didn't mention this in the show, but it was someone that I'd been friends with on Steam for a long time that I knew, and it just said like try out like because you can invite people to early access playtests of different games. So I'll randomly receive like an invite to try out the new Marvel game from somebody or whatever that's going to be coming out. And
yeah.
this was for Elden Ring Night Rain, the expansion pack that's going to be coming out, or the next Elden Ring rather that is going to be coming out. And so it was like an invite to join. Luckily, he had messaged underneath that, do not click that. When I clicked on it
Wow.
from someone that I trusted, it sent it to everybody else in my friends list. So it was somebody that I knew, like I thought I knew, so I could trust. It looked legitimate.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, I almost clicked on that. I would have probably clicked on that, but who knows? I mean,
Wow.
yeah, scary. That's the bullet with
So
that one.
scary.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just as an aside there. But yeah, you guys have a website on unicorn.eth? Is it
Yeah.
unicorn.eth?
Yeah. It's so funny. I actually have to look it up. I know it, unicorn.eth.link.
Okay, dot link.
Because that's what I always go to. It's I think, hold on, let me see. It's myunicornaccount.com or
Myunicornaccount.com.
unicorn.eth.link.
Yeah, I think that one's
Uh,
easier for me
it-
anyway.
yeah, exactly. It is easy. That's the one I use because I'm
Yeah,
just an Ethereum nerd.
yeah.
But but yeah, and it's but the point I was trying to make is like, I want to build this infrastructure for public goods, but I can't. It doesn't make sense. It ends up being, underfunded and poor quality if I don't find business models that can make it work. But eventually, I'm hoping that we can find economic models that support public goods. This all started with the conversation about how, okay, if UBI is not the right solution, what is? We have to start valuing the value that governments and nonprofits provide. And my main theory of change here is that when governments fail to provide value that society demands, people start nonprofits. So nonprofits are the decentralized, like free market solution to governments. They're just horrible to start to work in. Like they're money pits basically. They suck your energy because it's this tragedy of the commons problem. But we can change that. I really think we can change that. And Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're all public infrastructure that anyone can use. Right? Anyone in Africa or anywhere in the world can just create a Bitcoin address and receive money from anyone else in the world directly using this infrastructure. And it's not paid for by taxes. It's not paid for by donations. It's paid for by issuance through economic means. And I think the funny thing that people don't realize is this is how governments fund public goods too, right? They issue tokens, they issue US dollars, right? They get money, and they have complicated ways of doing it. Federal Reserve, blah, blah, blah. Federal Reserve prints the money and gives it to them as a loan, blah, blah, blah. Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
But, cut through the static. Governments print money and they create demand for that money with taxes. And so they have the revenue from taxes that they enforce and they print money. Bitcoin does the same fucking thing. It has transaction fees, which are the taxes, and it issues currency. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum, same thing. Transaction fees and issuance. And we can build systems like that where public infrastructure, IRL infrastructure, like meat space infrastructure, can just issue their own currency and create some sort of at least freemium model of providing extra value to people who are willing to use the utility of that currency. So, if we can create demand, if you can issue a currency and create demand for that currency, now you have an economic model that can actually sustain the value you're creating. And, right now, meme coins, it's gambling. People are literally creating fun communities of belonging and with a hint of, well, with a fat tablespoon of a heaping tablespoon of gambling.
Hey,
And
you were
they're
the
creating
original
value.
investor meme coin. Didn't you have Dogecoin like very early on? Before
Oh,
it was
yeah, for
cool.
sure.
Before it was cool.
Oh yeah, I lost a lot of money in Cryptsy with Dogecoin. I had a
Oh
bunch of Doge on
no.
Cryptsy back in the day.
Dang. Do you
Yeah.
still stay hopeful for Doge? I mean, did you expect it
Oh yeah.
to stay up here where it
No.
is? No.
No. No way. I
Yeah.
can't believe it. But I have some big friends where Doge is on the level of religion to them, you know? And I actually feel like meme coins and even diet fads, I feel like there's like an absence of religion that is in many ways filled by some other thing in people's lives, whether it's like MAGA or,
Yeah.
wokeism or, it's like diet fads or meme coins.
Yeah.
It's just like people need this kind of sense of belonging, they get, and they get to just believe in something bigger than themselves. And so lots of groups are tapping in. I would love for the meme coins to be, really helping the homeless or, and my favorite example for this though is really river cleanups because I think beyond, we think of environmentalism as something that, oh, we need a government to do it and mandate it because, there's not other ways to solve that problem. And I just disagree. I think that there is value here in public goods, and especially if you think of a polluted river. That polluted river has a bunch of landowners on it. And they have a direct economic benefit. Their land value will go up if the river is clean,
Yeah.
and it will go down if a clean river is polluted. Now, the real thing is how do we coordinate the landowners? And, right now you kind of have this tragedy of the commons issue where the landowners that put in a lot of effort to clean the river, they get, 1 over n of the benefit, right? If there's n landowners and there's only one doing the effort to clean, they put in all the effort to clean, but the actual economic benefit is spread amongst everyone.
Yeah.
So, but what if they had a meme coin? What if they had a token that they earned by putting in that work? Or there was a DAO, or even an AI agent powered DAO that has an economic system for it, and its job mission, its goal is to clean that river, and people could send money to it, and they get tokens back, and it can like have solutions that it funds to clean the river, and based off of its success, it could go on and clean other rivers, and the economy could actually grow. And if you want to have influence on that DAO, you have to have their tokens so that you just talk to the AI agent, tell it what the problem is with the river and what needs to be solved and why it would be beneficial. And maybe if you have a lot of tokens, your influence is more powerful. And if you want that AI agent to start working on another river, you better buy its tokens, you know?
Yeah.
So like you think of these kinds of solutions where there is a reason, like there's a selfish reason to provide public goods. You can have economic benefit from it.
Yeah.
We
No,
just have to
absolutely.
coordinate.
Yeah, yeah. You guys are multi-chain now on Giveth, right? And I know
Yeah.
Solana is a spot for these meme coins. Do you feel like you guys have to switch gears a little bit more to focus on that chain with what's going on and the popularity? Like, if you launch a coin there, and how do you make it so that you get the visibility, right? And for this
Mhm.
kind of thing as you go forward, like, how would you stand out? Uh, Whatever meme coins would possibly be generated on Giveth. That sounds like the big obstacle.
It is. It's the hardest thing. It's like, how do you now there's thousands and thousands of tokens being launched every day. How do you stand out? How do you get people to hear about you? Launching a token seems like it's more marketing than anything else right now. So, you have to get the KOLs to believe in you, in some ways, the people who influence and have viral influence. It's really tough. And yeah, I honestly I'm not an expert on launching tokens. Helped launch many, but and I know what doesn't work, but I've never really launched a successful token myself. So I feel like I just don't have the balls to just market the hell out of these things and
Yeah.
say, yes, like degen in, it's going up to 10,000%. This is the
Yeah.
future of blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it rubs me wrong.
that's just not my personality. Eh,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes forward and how Unicorn will help make it even easier on Giveth for folks to like interact. And just like I would like to see Unicorn everywhere, honestly. Something
Yeah.
like that. That's something I would like. That gets me most excited for like the nearer term, I suppose, is to see this being built out and utilized more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'll see it at ETH Denver. Are you coming to ETH Denver?
I don't know when is it?
It's beginning of March, end of February, end of
Oh,
February.
maybe not. I was planning a trip with L. I was thinking maybe Prague or something.
Oh,
Just
nice.
yeah, they have like one of the original like crypto punk like institute out there. What isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Carlini Police. I don't know if it's the original, but it's a good one. It's a
yeah,
really
yeah.
good one.
Yeah, probably a cool community. So yeah, I don't know, maybe, but I do want to get back in the scene. I haven't been to a conference since like 2021 or
Yeah.
2020. So yeah, I'll probably get back in the rotation now that I'm more
Nice.
serious with the show.
Well, if you're heading to Europe, definitely stop by Barcelona. We got it's a sweet pad, man. We have
Yeah,
a GPU rack, we have a sauna, have a terrace, like
I will
it's
hit you
17
up
beds.
next time I'm going to
Yeah,
Barcelona. Yeah,
definitely.
I only went
If you're
once,
if you're
and yeah, I didn't know about that.
if you're rolling through Europe at all, man, it's a must see. And there's always cool Givethers and like external community. Like, I think right now there's like someone from Superfluid staying there, a couple of Givethers, and
It's like the new
yeah,
crypto castle.
yeah, well, it's more like just a crypto
Cool
hacker
place,
pad
hacker
where
pad.
people just work. People are just working and then they go out to dinner and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's, it's
that's
chill and
nice.
it's free. It's
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
chill.
yeah. Just the last few things while we begin to get to the end here. Where do you think that what does like decentralized ledger technology look like going through the next 5 years? I guess yeah, I guess ease unicorn is one part of it. Still working on that. Like, what does this look like to the average person when they look at this? Is it
I,
still a scam?
I think it's just going to be the back end of the financial system. Like, I don't think, I feel like I'm a big fan of the Ethereum community. I think that they're building things right, and I like the infrastructure that's being built in Ethereum. I like the vibes of Ethereum, despite all this foundation crap and all that, like despite all the drama, that stuff just it'll be forgotten in a week, Vitalik's gonna change whoever he wants in there, and then it's fine. But the fact that you can write a Solidity contract safely because there have been so many exploits and hacks found. I think it makes it hard to develop on other infra. It keeps me there.
That's a good point.
Like I,
Yeah,
I really want to go to Solana because, like, I mean, Donald Trump just printed $7 billion there. Like the money is flowing there, but it's hard. I don't feel totally safe playing with Solana contracts. There's some that are safe, but it's like, there's just going to be the random exploit. I mean, in 2017, I helped rescue $200 million out of multisigs that just became exploitable because there was a surprise bug. And Solana, it's had a few of those moments, but nothing crazy, So I assume it will have those moments though, and
yeah,
and I don't want to be. I don't. I'm a little worried about being part of it.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
I feel way safer in Ethereum,
yeah.
and
It's battle
so it,
tested.
yeah, I think that's, but I think it's going to disappear. I'm not a big believer in all the hype around the chains being so important. It's you don't hear this kind of like database maximalism with MongoDB and Postgres. Like it's just that's the infrastructure that you decided to use because it fit the technology fit your use case. And of course, there's going to be like fees down there, and there's going to be winners and losers in the space. But I think for the end user, it's just going to, it has to disappear. It can't be something, if you have to know something to like utilize this tech, it's extra friction that's not going to work. And PayPal's going to stay, PayPal, Venmo, Square, all these things. Maybe they're going to, I think a lot of them are already starting to use crypto in the back end, but you won't have people directly using crypto. They'll have to go through third parties as they do today. There's way more people on exchanges than holding their own keys. It's just the way it is. That's why when Trump coin hits Binance, huge pump because all those people couldn't get it before,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
they could, you know,
Yeah.
and it's this is the stage we're in. Eventually, it'll all feel like Binance, and you'll be directly on the chain. Just like with Unicorn, everything's of course non-custodial.
Hmm.
We don't have, and no one can steal your money. And you have complete control of your funds. But it's yeah, you know, it's just there's a lot going on out there, and I have a lot of other interesting projects too. Like I'm really excited about QAC and launching bonding curves like Pump Fund, but in a safe way with vesting for legitimate projects. Uh, Also, I'm really excited about AI agents and voting and making things easy in DAOs. And I have this project Pairwise, which is actually working on with Vitalik on deep funding and making it so that AIs can actually do a lot of the decisions, but aided by the information of humans.
Mm. Yeah.
So like Pairwise is this simple voting application where instead of like reading forum posts and going making trying to make complex decisions, you just see two options. Maybe it's like which projects should be funded. You see two options and you pick one or the other, you know?
Yeah.
And then
Which
you
letter's
know
clear?
exactly,
Yeah.
right? You just
Yeah.
one or the other, one or the other. And it kind of the goal there is to break up complex decisions into many decisions,
Yeah.
into many small,
Yeah.
simple ones.
Nice. I like that.
And and so we're using that for humans to basically train AI to make the decisions appropriately.
Hmm.
Uh,
Fascinating.
and
Yeah. That sounds like a whole deep dive we could do into that project alone.
Yeah, deep funding. It's super cool. I mean, this is Vitalik's new mechanism. So, he
Yeah. I don't know
created
about it.
quadratic funding, retroactive public goods funding. Now, deep funding is his next one. He's very aligned with this mission. How do we fund public goods? The thing that is different between, well, there's a lot of things different between Vitalik and I. Like, he's way smarter than I am. He's done way more good for the world than I have. But like, I'm also, and probably one of the things holding me back is I'm very anti-government. I really rail, go. I just say what I think, and I just think governments are one of the main problems in society. And and he's like more against corporations and the banks, but seems to be like at least public facing, friendly to governments. But the thing is, what he's working on, funding public goods, whether he wants to admit it publicly or not, that is replacing governments. That is the only thing that legitimizes governments is the fact that they fund public goods.
Yeah.
So and they're by far the only thing making public goods work.
Yeah. It's a
So
good way of thinking about it. I never considered. Yeah.
so if we actually create crypto economic solutions for funding public goods, we just won't need governments.
Yeah.
They will literally lose legitimacy and die. And so Vitalik is working towards that. I don't think he wants to say it publicly, and probably politically it would be really bad to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah. To be
so
anti-government
yeah,
publicly like
yeah,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Super cool. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Let me see what else. Any other events that we should know about, like besides ETH Denver, that folks might want to be keeping on their
And
plans?
the big Ethereum events this year are the Schelling points in the Ethereum space at least have kind of come around ETH Denver, ETHCC which is now in Cannes, the south of France, and usually we used to be in Paris, and it's been moving around a little bit lately. And then Dev Connect, which I don't think the location has been said yet. But those are like the three big events in Ethereum. But then there's also larger crypto conferences.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's Consensus, which is going to happen here in Toronto.
Oh,
which is
cool.
cool, which is convenient for me. I can just stay at my partner's mom's house. That's kind of nice. And then, but then there's also Token 2049 in Dubai. That's going to be a big conference.
Hmm.
These are all the big ones that I plan on attending. But my favorites are kind of the smaller ones. ETH Denver is probably my favorite conference.
What
Like,
makes it
and
stand out?
they don't even call it a conference. They call it a festival. And it really feels like Burning Man half the time. There's so much interesting art. There's like, it's a hackathon. Like, most of these big conferences, they have a hackathon. But ETH Denver is really a hackathon first, everything else second. And which just brings the vibes. And yeah, they just do things right. They have fun. Like the first time I ever really bought food with crypto was at ETH Denver using the burner wallet they had, and
Hmm.
you can actually use it with vendors, and they do a lot of these cool experiments, and really it's also the size. I mean, it's 25,000 people last year at least,
That's
and it's probably
huge.
going to be more this year.
Dang.
So, and in Denver, where it's cold,
Yeah.
it must be good if you're willing to go to Denver in March or in
Yeah.
February,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But
Very
in general,
nice.
any of the conferences with ETH at the beginning are really fun because they're generally hackathons. There's ETH Bucharest, ETH Belgrade. Those both seem really cool. I really want to check out Eastern Europe. I don't think I can make, I'm not sure if I can make either of them this year, but I really want to. Uh, there's like, I mean, I've heard great things about ETH India. I don't know when that's happening again, but it sounds really cool. ETH Global just runs incredible events. Their hackathons, you can only really get in if you're a hacker, which also like just makes the vibes so much better. I'm not like the biggest speculator guy,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
like I like the builder vibes. So I go
Hmm.
there and I see all the builders, and they're all free. There's free food, and if you're willing to get your hands dirty and build a team and work on something, and you don't have to be a dev. I mean, honestly, with AI tools these days, no one has to be a dev.
Yeah.
Like check out the Eliza
OS.
AI agent workshop. They have like this whole like kind of 8-hour class, and it's built for non-devs to build AI agents. A long time ago, I think 2017, I was on your podcast and I said something along the lines of, if you learn Solidity today, you will be a millionaire. You will
Yeah.
be rich.
Yep.
Like drop what you're doing, learn Solidity. And I'll tell you, I was absolutely right. Like
Yeah.
if you knew Solidity by 2018, you are killing it right now. I'm going to say that about AI agents too. And I'm a little worried it's a little more dire than where Solidity is like, if you learn this, it'll be great. This one's like, if you don't learn this and you work in digital, if you're a teacher or a nurse or, like maybe teacher might be worrisome, but if you're a nurse, if you're do like IRL work, you're probably okay, you know? But if
For
you're
now.
doing digital work,
The
if
robotics are
you're a
getting pretty
computer,
crazy too. Following
yeah,
robotics plus AI agents. And yeah, like people always ask like why robots always look like human form? It's cuz they operate in a human world with human doorknobs and human
yeah.
dimensions for doorways, and that's exactly what they're building. I saw one running and jumping yesterday. A project out of China. Just incredible. Like, yeah, I'm super worried. Autonomous vehicles. Yeah, it's going to be a strange
Autonomous
world.
vehicle, but see, all those things require manufacturing and distribution and
Yeah,
all
that's
that.
true.
Like, I think by the time I'm
We
not
don't have the
worried about
nanotech
robots
yet.
taking people's jobs.
Yeah.
We'll have time to adjust. What I worry about is robots taking software jobs because we won't have time to adjust. Like you can deploy an open source project and then 10 million people can deploy it the next day. There's just going to be this random project that just solves huge problems that's open source that everyone starts running that replaces people's jobs relatively quickly. It's just the distribution is too easy. There's no manufacturing. That's why I worry about it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
It's a
yeah.
near term issue for sure.
Yeah. And there is a hackathon actually. I'm just looking at the ETH Global website. There's an agentic Ethereum hackathon that starts in a week. If you want to try your hand, like
Dope. I
take
think
this.
I think I'm gonna post this video. I never do it anymore, but I'm gonna put it on the Ethereum daily discussion, like here with
Oh,
Griff.
nice.
Yeah, and then it'll probably be approved. Shout out JT, who's always looking out. Yeah, so hopefully some ETH people hear this and they get interested in checking some of these events out if they haven't.
Dude, totally. I'm telling you, take this 8 hour course on Eliza OS. It should be easy to find. Just Google it, and then do this agentic Ethereum hackathon. And I'm telling you, like, the game will be changed, whether you're a dev or not. And the thing is, most devs need non-devs. It takes a team. Like you can't if you're one person and you are a designer and you're a public speaker and you are, you have all these other skills, you can you're organized, you can make a plan and cut scope. There's a lot of things that need to be a lot of people like of the 55 people I employ, less than half are developers. I think it's closer to a third. So there's a lot of other, you
Hmm.
know, pieces that make software work. So, don't be discouraged if you're not a developer, but especially these days because you don't need developers anymore. You could just use, I know it's crazy, but if you learn just the basics and then there's a couple of tools, Cursor, and I like, instead of ChatGPT, I use Anthropic's version, which is Claude. It just does a lot less hallucinating and is better for work stuff. Uh, if you grab those two tools, you can probably do most things on your own.
What's
Um,
Cursor?
Cursor is it's called an IDE. It's like a place where you would develop code, but
Hmm.
it's built with AI embedded. So
Oh,
instead of writing your code in like, what do they call it? VS Code or like Sublime, there's all these other places where you could write your code. If you use Cursor, you can just like, I mean, tab your way through coding, and it'll just like AI will auto-complete. It's like Microsoft Copilot on steroids,
that's dope.
and
I
it'll just
tried to make a
auto.
game the other day. I had this whole idea about a marching band game. I was in marching band, and I there's no game that exists out there that takes the audition process, learning the part, and then like going on the field and performing for competitions thing, and puts that in a distilled experience. When like in every school there's a band, and a high school there's probably a huge demand for that. So let me just come up with an idea, and I had Unreal Engine code spit out to
Oh,
me
cool.
by ChatGPT. Yeah, it was cool. It helped me think of a framework. Like, oh, there'll probably have to be like a game there, like Guitar Hero, where you press as it comes down. So here's how we'll like put a picture on top of that, a PNG file on top as it comes down. And it was just a fun learning thing before I realized, yeah, even with ChatGPT, it's gonna be a super crazy endeavor to try to dive into. So I just spent like one night doing it and then I dropped it for now. But maybe with,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, maybe Cursor would have been better for that, or maybe,
And
yeah,
and Claude. I'm
and
telling
Claude.
you, like it's really ChatGPT. I feel like ChatGPT is built to be your best friend who doesn't really challenge you and tries to just give you what you want to hear. Whereas Claude, it's like I don't it'll say like can I don't know exactly what you want from me. Maybe you could give me more information,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
And like so it hallucinates way less. It's way better for work stuff. It
It's
just gets
honest
things.
because that's the thing with like ChatGPT is that it lies very confidently, and that's
Yeah.
the hallucination thing. This one
Yeah,
asks you for more
exactly.
information. More. I've tried it before, but it was a long time ago. It was probably like a year ago. Not even like 8 months ago, I guess, that I tried Claude last. But it's been a minute.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like I subscribe to both ChatGPT and Claude, and I find
Do you
ChatGPT
pay
is
for the two
better at
hundred dollar one
writing.
or or the twenty
No,
dollar?
no, just the 20 bucks,
Oh,
just the
okay,
20
okay.
bucks.
I'm like to go test the
But
operator mode for me.
no, yeah, I find that ChatGPT is a little bit better at writing entertaining blog posts than Claude, and like I mean, I don't write that many blog posts, but I have to write grants and things like that, and no matter what I use, I have to edit the hell out of it at the end. But like I feel like ChatGPT does a little bit better at job at that. Everything else I use Claude. If I'm writing documentation or reviewing other people's work, doing any kind of any kind distilling forum posts. You know, like I said, I'm a delegate for ENS, Optimism, Arbitrum. I often use this other
I
tool
love
called
Arbitrum. That's like the main one that I've used. I find it so easy. Like I like it. It's cheap.
yeah,
It's quick. It's awesome.
yeah,
It really made me like really appreciate L2's Arbitrum for
yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. I love and Arbitrum is the most DAO-y of all of them, you know. I think ENS is the smoothest. Like there's not a lot of DAO-y stuff happening. Um, Arbitrum, there's so much going on. Like I can't
Mm.
keep up. I actually use this tool x23.ai, and it summarizes forum posts. They have a little chat bot. It's an AI tool that just like chews through the governance stuff pretty well. But sometimes I'll still like want to pull some of that in. I'll throw it into Claude, and I have like a kind of a thing that knows what I care about, and I'm trying to use that a little bit to make some replies and stuff like that. And I actually have a friend, Zeptimus, who helps me out with a lot of this stuff now too. Just like because it's too much, man.
Yeah.
There's too much. I run too many companies and I have to be a DAO delegate. I can't
Yeah.
do it all. I
Yeah.
need a team,
Hmm.
And so Zepti is like he's my hero that actually stays up to date. And then,
Shout out
you know,
Zepti.
yeah, shout out to Zep, man. And he's also he's kind of become my governance assistant and workout coach. Like we work out 4 times a week together
Very
online.
nice. I'm glad you're taking
Yeah,
care of yourself. That's great. Yeah.
yeah,
Neat.
yeah. Yeah, how are you? What are you up to, Omar? Like, I mean, I know we're going long here, but like, I'm
Nah, it's
really
fine.
curious.
I'm chilling.
Are you still, are you still acting? Are you what happened there? Like,
With acting, LA is a tough world to break into because I had three agents, like commercial agents in Miami. I graduated from FIU over there in a theater Bachelor in Fine Arts degree, which is like a long. It's a BFA is basically almost like a master's, like halfway in between. So I did that. I managed to get some agents. I was doing some work, but I did not have enough of a resume to stand out. I realized in LA, and nepotism I realized is way
hmm,
worse. I was one of those people like if you just you'll do it whatever you put your mind to, but there's deeper forces at play. I figure out in the
yeah,
world. So I smashed my head for years, blew through a crap ton of crypto that I should not have, trying to like
yeah,
make the dream happen. So I took a break from that for now, and partially because where I'm at in Central Texas, I'd have to drive like an hour and a half maybe to get to Austin, maybe an hour. So I could do that every day. I could try to get an agent and do that, have the energy in the will to do it
no,
right now. No, I'm feeling I'm getting there. I started the show again, but yeah, no, right
yeah,
now I'm just teaching piano and percussion at a
nice,
music school. And the lady will be like, do you play guitar too? Can you teach guitar? Can you teach ukulele? Can you teach? I'm like, no, just a piano. And yeah, I kind of messed up like my shoulder. I don't know. I was in an accident. They actually totaled my old Mustang back
oh
in like, yeah,
no,
like in June. Somebody ran like the green light. They were turning. I was going
yeah,
straight. I tried to swerve. They ended up like T-boning Elle and I. She screamed before it happened. Yeah, yeah. But and all I felt was like shaken up, adrenaline, nothing besides the car
yeah,
really ruined. But scary for sure. So I don't know. I guess like 3 months after, 2 months after, I started getting like terrible pain on my neck and shoulders. So I
mm.
got a new pillow like 5 days ago, and I think it's helping. I went to
Have you
urgent
tried
care.
acupuncture? I hear acupuncture is
I haven't.
amazing for car crashes.
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah,
don't know
there's
if it could
something
have been the
some
car crash. It could have been something else. I really don't know. It could just be,
true.
I don't know. So Janelle's like, you have to go to the hospital and like get an MRI. And I'm like, I don't want to cash out crypto for $2,500 MRI plus the emergency visit. But if like another month or two goes by, I guess I'm going to have to. It's a responsible
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, she's like upset about that I'm not taking care of myself.
Well,
But
My my partner hurt her knee at Burning Man, and we needed an MRI to figure out what was going on. And it was like a month wait in Nevada.
really,
And yeah,
yeah,
and
it was weird
we could
there.
have gone to Canada, but it would be even longer than a month to get an MRI. And so then we were looking at like, okay, we could fly to San Francisco. Like we're going to have to fly
Yeah,
somewhere because
that's
Reno
crazy.
just didn't have it. So we actually flew to Mexico City, and we could have gotten an MRI that day after landing. It was like, and it was super cheap.
Damn.
Uh,
So I got to go to
so and
Mexico.
yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah, man.
down. I mean, it's just an MRI. I just need some charts. I need to get an idea of what's going wrong so that I can either do self therapy and stuff like that
Yeah,
or take other
exactly.
steps. Yeah, I did like steroids when I went to the urgent care. They gave me like steroids and like a pain medication for a
Is that
week.
why you're getting so buff?
Yeah, yeah. And then the estrogen shot up and then I grew a little. No, but
Yeah,
it stinks for me because I want to work out and I want to exercise because I've always done it and I start getting anxious and I haven't been able to. So that's why I'm happy you're doing it. You're doing
yeah,
it. And then like no, piano is super cool. I got a jazz teacher at this school and he's played
nice.
yeah in the army band for 13 years. It's just gig after gig after gig after gig. So I'm just trying to absorb from him as much as I can the relatively cheap lesson. So I'm super enjoying that and just getting better at like that's like really music theory more than anything. So it's like I kind of have technique for the most part in certain things, but when it comes to music
Yeah.
theory, I was lazy about it. I was like, this is it gets hard, man, like to know what chord extensions to add on your right hand or to remove the left hand root bass note. So if we're playing like in C, you're not allowed to play C because that's the bassist job. So then you forget what key you're in. It's just like that's been fun to do. And then rhythmic stuff
Wow.
like yeah, like if we're doing swing, what is something good to do on the left hand, like, or if we're doing bossa nova or something like that. So that's kind of a passion of mine. And obviously crypto right now is super exciting again. So
Yeah.
I genuinely wake up like, dang, like this is interesting news, and then this is interesting, and this is interesting, and so that gives me a reason to wake up every day and be really excited
Totally.
about. Um,
Totally. No,
and
that
AI was like when I was depressed after moving from LA, I was like that was one thing that did not go away was my interest in that.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, I'm just so happy you're doing the daily podcasts again. So
thanks,
you're
man.
doing daily now, like every
Yeah.
day.
Well,
Saturday, Sunday?
I'm trying to not do Saturday Sunday so that I can have the balance I didn't before when I burned myself out. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks.
job.
Yeah, and I have laundry and I have to visit my mother and I have to do, I feel like I neglected my personal life a lot and that, eventually like crashed down on me. So I'm trying to balance
Oh
better.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this other like 3 minute YouTube, Spotify. They mint NFTs too. It's called ETH Daily.
Oh, yeah?
And they
Cool.
also don't do it on weekends. And I think that's the way, man. Gotta it's like gotta take some time for yourself.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. To definitely free up that bandwidth. So I got to ask you, price targets. We had to come here at the end.
Price
What's your
targets.
yeah? Let's do a price target for yeah. Let's do ETH. We're ETH natives here for ETH year end and 5 years. Two different ones. What do you think?
God, I have no idea on 5 years.
It's the right
I'm just
answer.
gonna throw that out there. Like it's not really fair. I feel like I really like what EIP 1559 does with the burning.
Hmm.
And I also believe in the roll-up centric roadmap. So I'll go with like for this year especially, I think that we're hitting the sentiment low, and it's going to, it's
I
got the
agree.
ETF, it has everything going for it. So I don't know why it wouldn't cross 10K, at least on like, assuming we have the classic 4 year cycle peak, where we go too high.
It's
It
been
would
weird
blow my
though.
mind if it
I
did.
feel like since 21, it's been a little weird. Do you think like that it still kind of follows um, the old
I
pattern?
think I'm not sure. I do kind of. You got to believe it until it stops, right? And it hasn't stopped. We're still. I'd still say we're within the realm of like the 4 year cycle. So seems okay. It seems okay. But yeah, and I think at the end of the year, I actually think that like if we're talking, December, I think that we'll be below 10K, maybe like 8K. We'll be
Hmm.
back
Yeah.
down from the highs. Sorry, I'm a little pessimistic, but it just takes a lot of firepower to move past. How high it goes, I don't know. Like that's the thing. If it goes to 20K, then yeah, it'll be way higher than 10K. But I like the 15K, between 10 and 15K as a top.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and I really do, unfortunately, I think Solana is going to take it this cycle. It's going to do way better than Ethereum because what Trump just did in Pengu, also like Pudgy Penguins, all these guys, they, yeah, they're bringing a lot of capital there. And when there's the capital is there, then the other tokens that are also there are just going to do really well. So I don't think Solana's gonna like take Ethereum's number two spot, but I do think it's probably gonna give better returns at the top, and then also they'll crash more post
Hmm.
bull market.
Yeah, we've been pretty much seeing that the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes
yeah,
sense. You put your money in Solana, you get in the ecosystem. I mean, there was one moment that I had seen, oh, look, Trump coin has been added to Coinbase. Oh, fun. Buy it on Coinbase. Oh, no, you need to download Coinbase Wallet. Okay, let's get Coinbase Wallet. Let's make a new account on Coinbase Wallet because I don't want to go
yeah,
fishing for my old one. Okay, new account.
yeah.
Okay, I need Solana. Okay, and I could not buy Trump coin natively. I don't know, it was like the first day they added it. It was really unusual. It just said it was not available, but it said it was available on the official website. But yeah, like if I had Solana tokens that were not staked, because I have some, but they're staked.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So if I did,
nice.
yeah, I need free Solana. Free Solana. I need that throw around money Solana so I can go buy the latest NFT. But like if you have that, yeah, the other projects basically, yeah, that are built on Solana are much easier for people to deploy capital than into without having to jump through those initial hoops. And so many people who are new to crypto are first getting through to Solana, so it makes sense what you're saying. I totally kind of agree. I agree with that viewpoint.
Unfortunately, it just seems to be the momentum there. So yeah, and I don't have a price point. I don't really study the charts very well, so I don't know anything about Solana's price movement but I'm sure that if Ether is going to go like 3 to 5x, then I assume Solana is more like 6 to 10 to the
Yeah.
top. But that means it crashes even harder,
Yeah.
just like it did before. I feel like it's this cycle's ETH from last cycle.
Yeah. But I don't know. I
Uh,
think ETH, like you said, market sentiment, I'm super hopeful, especially now, like looking at the policy yesterday. It says digital assets. I mean, it doesn't say
Yeah,
Bitcoin on there. And what is more
yeah,
decentralized besides Ethereum like in the smart contract space? I can't think of anything that is as battle tested that you see again.
exactly.
Trump he's buying WBTC with Global Financial. So I
Yeah,
think ETH is going to surprise people. Yeah, even if not just from simply like initial sentiment and hype around like a certain meme coin, I think like actual fundamentals will push the price higher. Like you said, the EIPs, the utility. I mean, seeing the tokenized things like BlackRock is talking about tokenizing stocks and bonds. I think like Ethereum is gonna surprise people. I actually don't know that Solana will beat it just because of like looking at so many different things. Like I don't know. I can see in the shorter term how Solana could do well, but I think we might be pleasantly surprised by year's end.
I think that just the biggest problem is Ethereum is a behemoth compared to Solana. It's got 400K market cap, and unlike Bitcoin, most people still have their ETH. Like lots of people lost some ETH for sure. There's a lot more lost than Solana, but like, it's hard. It's going to be a lot harder to move Ethereum. It's just the nature of the market. The penny stocks, you go on Pumped Up Fund, you can get crazy returns, but one thing that we started doing on Giveth, actually, just the Twitter space that I was saying before this got rugged 3 times. We're actually doing
Yeah,
a raffle every 2 weeks. We raffle off to winners, to 10 donors, a bunch of Give tokens, right? So, and the first place winner got a 6,000% return on their $12 donation. They got they
amazing.
got a 60 times that back in Give tokens. So like, you know, and so that's crazy returns.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. And you
you
have a
know,
podcast too, I think. I saw on your website that you were doing. Although the last episode looked like it was Christmas Eve or something, and you had Willie
yeah.
on the show too before. Are you
Oh,
still gonna
really?
continue to do that, or?
No, man, I just have too many projects. It's
Yeah,
it really, and that's the thing. I'm like gonna run this Burning Man camp again this year, and I'm like, I can't do anything else. It just like cuts all the other fun things that I would love to do. I would love to, honestly, I prefer to be a guest on your podcast than run my own. You do a lot of work behind the scenes, man.
no,
And
man.
we,
I'm honored to
I
have you
worked
every
with,
time. I mean, your
I,
time is valuable. We can tell, and like, it's refreshing to me. You don't seem like you're like "Ugh," from all the work. You still like are Griff.
yeah, well, Omar, it's fun to just hang out and talk,
Yeah,
It's like we have to run a podcast just to hang out and chill. I
yeah,
get to listen, I get to hear on your podcast. You talk to me all the time, but it's never interactive. It's
that's
always
true.
just you talking to me, telling me
Yeah,
about crypto things,
and my mother who watches all my videos apparently.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I was so ashamed at first, like hearing about that. She is like, I realized I can't change her. She has a laptop running my podcast all day, every day, like running some video. So when I pass by, I see my face, I'm like, and I know she's watching them all out there. I get embarrassed too, because I was like, especially when starting, and I would do shirtless videos and stuff. I don't think she watched back then, but like, it's weird when you think your mother is out there watching. I don't know, so I try not to think about it, but I can't dissuade her either. I know there's no convincing her.
Then
I've
we don't
tried.
have to talk about Burning Man live on the podcast. We can leave that.
And nothing
Leave
that
that.
bad happened at Burning Man. Burning Man was a good time.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
that's what you want your mom to know, that's what you want your mom to know. I totally understand.
Yeah,
No.
that's cool. I got to talk about Facebook banning my account at Burning Man during one of the talks that I did, which is great. People had no idea that this kind of situation was actually happening. So when I was talking, I could see their eyes like light up in interest, but I wasn't expecting that. I was just like, I'm just gonna talk about something, but then I saw that there was like a lot of interest in the censorship discussion at the time, and then I guess like Mark Zuckerberg must have felt bad or heard something and didn't want to get sued. So like I got a free check mark on my new Facebook, like a
Really?
verified, yeah. And then I got a free check mark on Twitter. So I don't pay $20 a month for the Twitter thing. I don't know
Nice.
why, but shout out Elon Musk. He's my boy. At least he's done one good thing. I get
Yeah.
I get the check mark for free. I don't know why at all,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was like that. It worked out. It worked out in a way, and
Did you
I
get,
have a
did you get your network back as well from Facebook?
No, that I lost. I lost like the 100,000 person plus group. My current group isn't
Yeah.
super active. I think it has like 4,000 people in it, maybe, but it's not really active at all.
Well,
And
what's the point? They're just going to get rugged again anyway. No, because I was an admin of the group and lost my Facebook
that's
account
right.
in the same,
That's
in the
right.
same.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry about that. I still have to apologize to you and the 13 other people.
it's okay. It got me off Facebook. I mean, I had to get back on Facebook because there's a lot of Burning Man things there, but
Yeah.
it's like it was really sad because I lost a network. And I don't know what's happening with TikTok right now. Did they end up uh
It was a Supreme Court ruling saying that they had to sell the company to the U.S. or like they would be banned, and so they announced that they were not going to be selling it. So they were going to suspend themselves voluntarily, like a day before they had to officially go offline. So everybody on TikTok got a notification that it was officially over. And originally it was going to be like there would be no more updates through the App Store. That was going to be it, but TikTok just decided that because of exploits and everything secure, they would have to patch the software, so they couldn't just leave it up for whoever had it already downloaded on their phone and just not have new people download it. So they just completely banned it. And then some dude overnight went and apparently lit a congressman's house on fire over this. Like wild, right? Because you have so many people who've built livelihoods off of it. People get addicted to habits, right? So the habit of waking up and checking
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah, so wild. And then like there was a in the Supreme Court ruling, there was a clause saying the president could create a 90-day extension for TikTok to sell the company. And so right now, I think it's back up. I don't know. I don't have TikTok, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
hear
really.
that President Trump had promised them something, but without Congress and with that ruling, and if they don't sell it to U.S. company, it looks like after 90 days, even if it's up, like it'll probably be gone.
I mean, if it does go, I think it will be a huge boom for Lens, Farcaster, and all the other Steemit, all the other
And
decentralized social media
Instagram and
platforms.
Facebook, who were here,
Yes,
I hear,
but
were
the thing
lobbying
is,
in the
if
background.
people feel the pain of losing their network,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, 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 yeah.
we
100%.
lost. It's like, okay, I can go to Instagram, but what happens if Instagram also disappears or deplatforms me or something? Now if hundreds of millions of people feel that the pain of losing their connections,
Hmm.
maybe there's a little bit more value add to being like, no, you can't You own your connections.
Yeah. And
So
it was like beyond even just connections. Originally I thought it was just connections. And it was also like myself. Like I realized that I knew myself through following the pictures that I've taken over the years. And I, thought about those pictures and I reflect on who I was. It's just something that I do. Like the opposite of my partner who's happy to delete stuff. She calls me a digital hoarder. But
I'm the
yeah,
same.
yeah, good. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel that stinging pain that I don't have those pictures. People friends are sharing, "Oh, look at me in high school." And I'm like, I don't have any of those pictures. It really hurts in a deeper way. Like yeah, so it's something I
Totally.
still deal with the YouTube thing, losing the YouTube like the old channel. I felt really bad about it. It was part of the reason I wasn't even motivated to make much video content. I was like, it
Yeah.
hurts to see less viewers out there. It hurts to like
Yeah.
think that I lost that I spent 7 years or whatever it was at the time, almost day and day. Like just, but it happens to people. You lose your house, you lose,
Yeah.
this is normal to the human experience. So that's how I've kind of
Yeah.
come to deal with it. And then the benefit of it all is like I purged all the bots. I purged all the haters who were immediately disliking my video as soon as I put it up. So like most of my videos have 100% upvotes now. And I realized,
Nice.
this is great. These guys are tipping me on stream sometimes. This Quentin, $20 yesterday. A Zam,
Wow.
$150. $50 from this guy. I'm like, like the people who support the show are still here. A lot of these people are
Yeah.
OGs again. They've seen you throughout the years and they're back. And like for a lot of people,
Yeah,
it looks
Mark
like the show.
Address. I just pulled up the chat, and Mark Address said you got him to buy ETH at $10.
Yeah, that's super fulfilling. And like, I get that, the joy that I brought people through doing that. And people just like to see the show every day. It becomes part of their routine, like a TikTok mic, I realize. Yeah, I'm like, it surprises
The,
me.
the daily stuff, I'm telling you, it's so great to
Yeah,
see you
it
as an
is.
option every day to just like, I can't always
Thanks,
watch
man.
the full video, but just seeing you more often on my feed, on my YouTube feed, like at least I can scroll to a part I want to hear
Yeah,
your opinion on.
yeah.
And it's just so nice because when you're doing it once a week, it's like if I see it, I see it. But
Yeah, and I was just
I
covering
know
retroactive news already. It was pretty late. It wasn't relevant to that day. And now my YouTube metrics are looking a lot better. Like it looks like a bullish chart on almost every metric now that I've started since January 1st, pretty much doing a video. So it's only the first month, but everything is going up. And I like that rewarding feeling of like number go up. It's just when I
yeah.
was up there, it was a lot harder. There were other YouTubers who started to come out after 2017. I was like the only Ethereum news guy. Then you had Bankless come out, which
Yeah.
I forgot who it was. I commented the other day, like Bankless is now doing other things. They're doing Solana. They're doing other things. And
Totally.
so I'm like, they're like, you should do a niche again in the Ethereum ecosystem. Like it kind of
Yeah.
has that bias already, but I don't know that I'm going to change the name back to Ethereum News just yet because I do want to remain biased. And
Oh.
Ethereum might change. Things could change. And I do want to stay open to that too. You never
I
know.
mean, I'm an Ethereum bull, but it's one thing about just you got to be realistic here.
Yeah.
Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency in the world. It's just it is the safe bet. I hold more Ether than any other currency, for sure, by a long shot.
I love how you
You know,
said currency, not just cryptocurrency.
no, yeah, including current any other asset for sure.
Yeah.
That is where I hold my value, store my value. And I think it's a safe bet. I think it's a very safe bet. Way safer than Solana or anything. But man, it's bull market time. You know,
Uh-oh. I'm not seeing Griff here. Oh,
oh
there you
no.
are. There you are. There you are.
Oh
There you
good.
are.
The tokens with low market caps are just going to give you the good returns. And like I literally just went onto the virtuals protocol and just threw a few $100 into every AI agent that I thought looked cool. Just to play with the protocol, but also because it was like these are low market caps, and I did really well. Just throwing it in, totally just gambling,
Where did you
100%
do that?
virtuals. So like
Virtuals?
there's all these oh my God. The craziest thing happened. So I've been playing with all these AI agent platforms and just goofing off, launching things and I I went to this one called creator.bid and I just put like $200 in. I was going to start like a bot that's an AI agent that talks about wallet safety on Twitter. That's it. Like talk about safety, and it was gonna be like a little bit of a shill for unicorn, but I was really just experimenting. I was like, how does this platform work? I tried out a bunch of other ones, and like some of them were good, some of them weren't good at making like good tweets and all that. So I wanted to see how this one was at Twitter. So I started making it, and not thinking I used my Griff.eth account, which is like it's on a multi-sig with Vitalik. It's like it's a very well-known account with has a bunch of money, old tokens in it. And it's like it's a high reputation account. And I didn't put that much money in, so the market cap was super small for this random AI meme coin. And a bunch of people came in and pumped the coin up to 400K. And I was like, what the hell? Like market cap. I'm like, dude, the Giveth token market that I've been working on for years, it's like a $2 million market cap. Okay. Like, it's not
That's gotta
really
sting a
small.
little bit, dude. That's gotta sting.
Yeah. It was definitely like, what the hell? And within 10 minutes, okay, I was in other calls. Like I wasn't even fully paying
We
attention.
got a donation here and a question for you, Griff. I guess like a few questions. It's a good question. Thank you, Jack Knight, for the tip, man. Can Griff talk about graduating the first class of university degrees in cryptocurrency? So I guess graduating among the first class of people graduating with a master's in digital currency. And how was the
Yeah.
experience? Do you still talk with your professors or other students?
It was all online, and
Was it Gary
I think
Gensler? No, I'm kidding.
no, it wasn't Gary. It wasn't Gary. It was the University of Cyprus. And the funny thing about that though, it was 26. I started the program in late 2014, and it was the first person to enroll in a master's degree. Like the first class, there were like 9 of us that graduated and got the first diplomas. But it was a week after the DAO was hacked, you know? So like literally the DAO was hacked. And then I flew to Cyprus to go collect my diploma like a week later. So
Good
like
timing,
I was
bro.
dealing with a lot of other crazy things. And the DAO was such a success and such an interesting thing that I already made a name for myself. So the degree didn't really help me. But when I was doing the classwork, one of the things was to write one of the homework assignments was to write a white paper for something, right? So I wrote a white paper for a bike sharing economy, and I talked about how, and I was really interested in the sharing economy, and this whole like how do we replace governments thing has always been and the sharing economy was like decentralized public goods, and I was really interested in how that could come out, I still have that interest, although there's no Swarm City anymore, but yeah, so
Arcade City.
yeah, Arcade City, I guess it's still there, but yeah, so then I wrote this white paper for bike sharing economy, and it is what got me the job at Slock.it. So
Ooh.
that's what made my career, not so much the graduation and the diploma, but just being in the space, dedicating my mind power to working in the space and segregating time and having this homework
Well,
assignments and
why
stuff.
did you get the degree in the first place? Like, what made you want to like do that as opposed to learning it manually like everybody else? Like, as Andreas Antonopoulos, I was watching Bitcoin videos 18 hours, no, 20 hours a day. Wasn't even eating because I would be a distraction from learning more about Bitcoin.
I mean, that's definitely where I was at. I was I went to Ecuador to be the Andres Antonopoulos of Ecuador, and I was in the same mind space in 2013 as Andreas in 2011, when I was just like I broke up with my girlfriend because she was basically jealous of Bitcoin. Like, and I was like, I choose Bitcoin
It's
over
like
you.
the meme, dude, with the
It's
guy turned
so
over on his phone and the girl pissed off.
Exactly. I just couldn't put it down. I was so obsessed with the tech.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a developer. And in 2013, I felt like, that was really the way to go. And wanted to, somehow show. So it was like, I was thinking about doing a boot camp and becoming a dev. But one of my friends told me, like, listen, you'll never be very good. Let's just be real. You'll never be a good. If you learn to be a dev at 27, like good luck, Uh you have other skills. And it takes a village, right? To make anything work. So lean on your other skills. And so to get in the space, I'm a chemical engineer. At the time, I was a massage therapist. Like, how am I going to make a name for myself in the space? And when I saw the opportunity to be the first, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Uh,
Yeah, it's
so
super cool.
yeah, but I don't talk with the professors very often, although Andreas Antonopoulos was involved. He was one of the professors, which was cool.
Wow.
And I
Holy
have had
cow. So you've learned from him personally.
yeah, yeah. He was teaching
Whoa.
at the time they were doing these massive online courses, and so he that was like the first class. And then there were some other classes too that he would like come in for, but it was mostly other professors that were there, and I have seen some of them in the space, but like I didn't. It was all remote, so we didn't build like personal relationships. But another guy who actually graduated with me was the Bitcoin Lambo guy, the guy who sold a Lambo for Bitcoin, and really the whole meme of like, want a Lambo meme came from
Yeah.
this guy. And funny story about that guy. He actually shorted Bitcoin with a Lambo and made more Bitcoin. He bought the Lambo with Bitcoin for Bitcoin with Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin's price went down, and so he sold the Lambo for Bitcoin for more Bitcoin than he paid for it.
True
So he actually
degen. It's
made
true
Bitcoin off
degen.
that Lambo.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. I love that. Yeah, he had a a few fun rides, and then realized the maintenance costs were not
yeah, exactly.
cool. Cool. I'm sure he's doing well. Well, thanks for making it out, Griff. This was a super fun
Yeah.
chat. We covered quite a lot. If there's anything else though that you feel like you wanted to touch about as you finish out here, just make sure that you share where people can connect with you and learn more about what you're doing and maybe see your companies.
Yeah, the best thing is Twitter, honestly, at the Griff T on Twitter. So TheGriffT on Twitter. You probably search Griff Green and you'll come up with me pretty easy.
The grift.
Omar follows me,
Yeah.
so like that's a huge win.
You follow me back too.
Thanks for yeah, I follow you as well. So that if I'm followed by Omar Bam, then probably that's the right Griff. And then yeah, I think also, there were a lot of threads that we were just having a pretty tangential conversation,
Yeah, yeah.
go
Yeah,
here
yeah. A
and
lot of
there.
threads we didn't follow all the way.
Yeah, so if there is a thread in there that you wanted me to follow, just tweet at me and I can try to make some closing statement for you at the very least, because there are a lot of cool things to talk about, and 2.5 hours is probably long enough for one of these.
Is that how long it's been? Oh, dang. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for making it out today. Make sure you reach out to Griff on Twitter. Like I said, check my page if you need help finding him. But yeah, the man here. Yeah.
Oh, I should make some announcements too.
Yes.
Next week we're doing $100,000 public goods round on Giveth. So if you want to support nonprofits, it's this really democratic way of matching donations. So you can donate $1 to your favorite nonprofit that's on the platform, and then we will match it with hundreds of dollars. But your unique democratic influence distributes the matching pool, as opposed to like, oh, you donate $5, you get matched with 50%. So you can
Very
donate
nice.
$1 and really make an impact. And we support Solana, and we support all the Ethereum side chains and all that. So really easy donation experience. So definitely come to Give It. It's kind of, we call it loving on public goods. And you can support Roman Storm. You can support all these other cool, one of the PCRF, which you mentioned earlier, the Palestinian Children Relief Fund, and all the other cool projects on Giveth. So definitely check that out next week. And I think that's probably the biggest, the
Yeah,
only,
I'll try to remember to cover that on the show too. Hopefully, I see something and that'll get my
yeah,
attention. If not, I will look for it and try to remember to do that.
man. I'm so bad. I'm pretty sure it starts on Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember, but it's for Valentine's Day. So we set it up so it would end on Valentine's Day.
Very nice. All right.
Yeah.
Well, take care, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day if we don't catch you because you're too busy, having fun deploying dollars on Giveth. And yeah,
Oh, I do have another one. I
last
have
one,
another
last one,
announcement.
another one.
Okay,
Maybe
I'm
not
so
last one.
sorry.
Another one. No, it's
Uh,
okay.
so I have this other project that I barely talked about. It's called QAC, and it's a really cool. It's kind of like the answer to Pump.Fun for legitimate projects. So X23, which I covered on here, launched their token with us. And the way it works, just really briefly, is it's a grant from Polygon actually initialized their tokens, so the team gets free tokens, but they initialized it into a bonding curve, just like Pump Fun and all these other protocols. And then the community gets to buy in and get locked tokens. And so at a good price, like a sub $1 million market cap. And then now the tokens are going on the liquidity pools with no lockup. So at this point, everyone's tokens are locked up, and these are there were 200 applicants, only that we took the 8 best teams, so they're kind of
Wow.
pre-filtered. Unlike Pumped Up Fun, where every project, is half
This is what I was
nine.
talking about with like a DAO of DAOs, a way to fund cool projects, really. This is another one. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the goal, is
The
to find
accredited investor thing
legitimate
pisses me
projects.
off, man.
Yeah. Exactly. And vesting, like
Investing.
Trump has 80% of the tokens of his coin. Who knows when he's going to dump? All of these teams had to have a lockup for a year, and then they have a year stream. No one can sell for a year. And that's the cool thing. So now next week, on Wednesday and Thursday, and throughout the next couple weeks, different days, different teams are launching tokens. Uh, there's a price floor, and the price can't go down. So it's kind of like that Pump.Fun opportunity where the market cap's still low. The price is on the bonding curve, so it's not going to go down. But the cool thing is that the community that really cares about the project actually got to come in and get locked tokens first. So every token has a different price floor that it can't go down below, and it's starting at that price floor. So there's this nice speculative opportunity, so we can get the same like Pump.Fun bot experience, but with a community and a team that is incentivized to make a real project. So that's also happening next week, and I don't know how I can even
You're gonna
mention
do
it.
it. I'm gonna have to stop taking your time away. You're a busy man.
I,
Yeah.
I
And
know. Well, it's Friday night,
what's the
so
website? What's the website for Quack?
well, this will be on QuickSwap on Polygon ZKVM. So you can go to QuickSwap. You can go to Q QACC.giveth.io, QACC.giveth.io, and that will link you to all the information about it. And but then if you want to buy the tokens, they're just on a normal DEX QuickSwap.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. That was super cool too. Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
you mentioned it. Well, thank you again, everybody. And we will leave you with that till the next time we see Griff and, talk about 1,500 billion other projects
Mhm.
outside and inside his brain that he's working on. I look forward to that. Hopefully we catch you guys there. Thank you for making out for the first interview on the new channel. And thank you, Griff, for being the first guest on it. Best guest ever. Take care, everyone.
Yes.
Much love and stay cryptic. Peace.
Thanks, Omar. See you.